What's up, everybody? We are back. We are back live right here, getting ready for another big day in the cryptocurrency market. It is Thursday, and we are getting set less than a week away from the big Fed rate decision, guys. We got some data in. They're now giving us an 88 to 95% chance we're going to get a rate cut here in September. So many things to dive into, so many things happening in the cryptocurrency market. I am fired up, man. I have been excited, ready, preparing, honestly, since 2022. Ever since we entered the bear market, I have been preparing for this moment, and accumulating, obviously, positioning ourselves. And this is still the time to do it. And I feel like time is slowly running out in terms of positioning yourself for what we think is going to be a massive Q4 run. So, welcome everybody here to the live stream. Hopefully we got a bunch of people joining us here all over the place. YouTube, X, we're live on Rumble. We're live everywhere. So smash the like button here. Share the stream wherever you are. Help us out. Let me know where you guys are coming in from. I want to hear from you guys in the comment section. Let me know where you guys are at. Love, love, love. All the people that come here each and every day. We're getting ready for the Crypto Breakfast Club. We're going to live stream it today as we get into it. So yeah, man, we're gonna do the damn thing here today. So appreciate you guys. Let's dive in here. Let's take a look at what's happening in and around the cryptocurrency space. We are getting very close to market open here, 6 minutes away until market open. And XRP staying solid here, right around 298. We've popped up back over $3. We called it. We told you guys at 270, 275, this is the spot to accumulate. This is the time to accumulate XRP right now. 270, 275. Look at that. We came down here, touched it a bunch of different times, and have just been on a nice little slow uptrend. A little bit of a downturn here, overall in the last month, down 6%. But here in the last 7, you could see what we've done. We're up 5%, slowly grinding back upwards. I just made a video this morning. XLM looks phenomenal right now. I think it's finally going to break through that new all-time high. We haven't seen an all-time high on XLM in 8 years. So I'm excited about that. Hbar, XLM, XRP, ONDO. You guys know where I'm heading this cycle. You guys know where my focus is. Real world asset tokenization, baby. ISO compliant, US-based cryptos. That's where I'm going. I'm running with the institutions this cycle. But let me see who we got in the chat here. Really bullish on crypto. What's up, Isaac? How you doing, man? Who else do we got here? Chipper's in the house. What's going on, bro? XVM. What does CPI at 2.9 mean? Basically, that's our inflation number. Crow to the moon. Morning, Zach from Covina, California. Nice. What's up, everybody? What's going on, everybody? Coming in from UK, North Texas, Belgium. Love it, man. We're getting people from all over the place. South Africa's in the house. There we go. There we go. Chicago, Australia. Love it, man. Love it, love it, love it. Glad to have you guys all here. Glad to have you guys all here in the house. Boca, XRP will simply explode when ETS kick in. 100%. 100%. Boca, hopefully you got into the new Discord that we're creating, the new private community. Let me know if you have not, man. I sent out a message over there. We are doing something big now with our new private community. Got all hands on deck, man. We're going to have a huge amount of people be joining us. So more on that very, very soon. But Boca, let me know if you're not in there yet. I want to make sure you get in there for sure. All right. And a couple of the other OGs from way back in 2021. So let's take a look here. Mantle and BitTenzer Tau leading the way. Tau's finally bouncing up a little bit. That's good to see. Good to see that. Finally, Tau's making some moves here. But what else do we got here? Insight, joining the top 10% of the XRP rich list takes just 2,396 XRP as of August 2025. Interesting. The top 10%. You could be in the top 10% of the XRP rich list, 2,396 XRP. Interesting. What else do we got, man? We got so many things happening from this Charlie Kirk situation, man. And just hope everything is hope everything is okay with his family, as okay as it can be, man. It's brutal, man. Brutal what happened yesterday. So praying for everyone there involved with that. That was just horrific, honestly. We should never have to see anything like that, honestly. It was terrible. Let's see here, though. Let's see. Let's go over here and do top crypto news today. Let's see what's going on here. Bitcoin and altcoins rise on rate cut hopes. There's no doubt about it. We did see a pop back over 14,000 amid expectations that the U.S. Federal Reserve could cut interest rates later this year, really later this month. Softer producer price inflation data added to optimism, with investors also eyeing the upcoming CPI report for further clues. ETH, XRP, Solana also saw some gains. Solana's looked really good here. I think they hit a 7-month high this morning. We're at 226 on Sol, up 9% in the last 7, up 27% in the last month. Look at the Solana chart, man. What an opportunity this was to grab it back in early April, down at $106 on the dip. It's been ripping back upwards really nicely. Really nicely. SEC regulatory agenda shifts toward innovation. I've been talking about this over the past couple days, guys. But the SEC regulatory agenda has shifted toward innovation under Paul Atkins. He's signaling a massive change in strategy, moving from enforcement heavy toward frameworks that support token projects, disclosure reforms, market efficiency, and capital formation. Hong Kong, let's see, base crypto exchange Hashkey launching a $500 million digital asset treasury fund. It will invest in multiple currencies, but focus largely on Bitcoin and Ethereum. They want to build a long-term diversified digital asset portfolio and support Web3 infrastructure. Wow, Remitix has raised over 24.5 million pre-sale, planning multiple centralized exchange listings. Oh, Do Kwon pleads guilty. Wow. The collapse of Terra in 2022 is still considered one of the biggest failures in crypto. Long-term fallout for regulation and trust in algorithmic stablecoins. No doubt about it. I was around for that. Put your hand up if you were around for that craziness in 2022. Regulators watch for inflation and yield curve signals. Analysts are keeping a close eye on U.S. yield curve, especially the 10-year spread, as well as inflation data. These macro indicators may influence some equities, but crypto too, especially Bitcoin. If inflation comes in lower than expected, it could boost investor confidence in risk assets. Well, as soon as they cut rates, it's going to boost confidence, right? But I need to start our X space, guys, and then my co-host Pade's going to take it over, and then we'll listen in via the computer, and we'll weigh in and talk a little bit about what's going on, give our thoughts, etc. So that will be pretty cool. Let me set that up right now, and we're going to be hearing from a bunch of people. Obviously, you guys can weigh in here while you're on the chat. I'll be interjecting and giving your guys' questions on the panel, and the chat will have a bunch of people giving their thoughts on the markets right now, moves they're making, altcoins they're getting into. So that's how we do it. We do it every single day for 2+ hours. And I should probably start just going live for it, come on live a little bit sooner and just fire it up. It's hard sometimes because there's tons of stuff going on, man. But let's see here. I'm going to do... We'll do that, and then I'll shoot my buddy a message here. Let's see here. We are firing up our space that we do every day, guys. So that's what we're doing right now. Welcome into the stream. Make sure you guys share it out there. Let's see. Space started. Let me know when you have it. All right. Let's see what else is going on here in the markets. Latest news. Let's see here. Avalanche Foundation in talks to establish a treasury company in the United States. Avalanche has been looking pretty good here lately. They aim to raise about $1 billion, and deals are expected to be finalized in the coming weeks, according to Financial Times. Interesting. I'm actually going to go ahead and put this out there. Avalanche. To the tune of oh, shoot. I wanted that to be embedded. Can I edit it? Yeah. Does that drop it down? Oh, shoot. There she goes.
I don't understand why there's not better music or X. Every major artist.
All right.
Can we get breakup?
Big downward spike at 8:30 when the data came out. Yeah, and the data was actually pretty good. So here's what just in August, US CPI, annual inflation rises to 2.9, but it's in line with expectations. Core stayed the same too. So this is kind of crazy. I mean, the market's dumping and CPI came in as expected. This is just like classic market manipulation in crypto, man. I mean, and this moved down to 113.8. It's not a big deal, honestly. It's not a really big deal, to be honest. But we're going to join the space here real quick. We will join the space. Let's get in that right now. Let's see here. We'll take this tab and move it down. Let's join up with the Crypto Breakfast Club here. Let's give this, guys. If you guys can help us out and do a solid, repost this right here on the Breakfast Club and comment. Come in and talk crypto. We're going to be joining right now live. And I'm going to move my mic over so we can capture all of the audio. We're going to take this down and we're going to move our mic volume way up. All right, let's do that.
Every one person who has a project that they really like or are animate about, I'm just going to put a few dollars into it. You know, Matt's always like Hedera, Hbar, fine. Hedera, Hbar, cool. Brian, Polychain, obviously. I already got bad Polychain, but I'll add to my bags. Clifford, Space and Time. All right, Clifford. You come on the show every day. You know what? You're mentioning Space and Time. You mentioned Space and Time on the daily. You know what? Fuck it. I'm going to ECA Space and Time till I get to about... Nah,
Hey, whoa, whoa,
Why
whoa, whoa!
not?
You gotta refrain from the f bombs today, Paid. We're live across the board here. We're live on YouTube. We're live on X.
Oh, wait, can I?
Shoot,
What
shoot.
words can we not say?
Just say shoot, or dang, or
Shoot.
or
Shoot.
dag gone it.
Oh, dag nabbit.
There you go. That'll
All
work.
right. Okay, guys, refrain from using profanity.
I know this is going to be tough for you, Paid.
Oh God, I'm gonna throw up.
But I mean, if we go live, on YouTube and X like we are right now, Rumble, we're live everywhere. We got to keep it PG-13, I guess.
Oh God. Well,
We
you
can
know,
still have fun, man. We
PG-13.
can still have fun. It's not like we can't have fun.
PG-13. You're allowed one F-bomb per movie. Just so you know.
Is that true?
No, that is true. Yeah, it is.
Hey,
True.
clean it
So,
up.
like,
Clean it up.
So if you like watch any PG-13 movie where there wasn't an F-bomb, they could have put it anywhere in that movie. It's kind of funny. So like if you watch like Lord of the Rings, it's PG-13. At any moment they could have dropped an F-bomb and it would have been hilarious, but they didn't. So yeah, that is a fact though.
Interesting.
By the way.
All right. Well,
Fun fact.
obviously we got CPI data in today, guys. We got CPI annual inflation rising 2.9%. But it's in line with expectations of 2.9%. And then core CPI, which is the most important metric, that's the one the feds really look at closer. That's at 3.1% year over year, but it matched forecasts for a gain of 3.1%. So everything was in line with expectations. We took a little bit of a dip, not really though. I mean, we're basically flat on the day. We're coming right back. Bitcoin took a quick dip and it's bouncing right back. So just a classic little market manipulation. We started dipping at 8:30 just because data was coming out. We got up to about 114.4, I think was our high in the last 24 hours. Actually 114.4, almost 114.5. We're almost back to 114. So it's the classic, the classic market manipulation right now, as we've talked about. That's just kind of where we are with the institutions here. Don't let it shake you. Bitcoin now back up above 114. No harm, no foul. ETH up at 4,400. XRP back to $3. How about Solana, man? Continuing to show a lot of strength. Sol, here in the last month, up 28%. I think I read this morning it just hit a 7-month high. So Solana looks really, really good. It's been on a slow grind back up. How about this? When we had the big scare in April across the board with crypto and stocks. Remember the S&P 500 took a big dip in early April. Everybody was running for the hills. Oh my God, here's the collapse we were talking about. Solana went down to $100 virtually. I mean, it was down to like $103, $104. Now we're at 228, just like that. So that was an unbelievable buy the dip opportunity. I wish I would have done more crypto buying. I actually stacked a lot of S&P 500, which I'm not mad about. But I picked up a lot of S&P. I think it dipped all the way down to like $500 on the S&P, somewhere in there. I was pumped to get it down there, so made a move there. I'm happy about that, and obviously we've just been on a slow recovery now since April. Top movers, Mantle remains a big winner too, up 40% on the last week. BitTenzer Tau finally making a little bit of a push. It's up 5% today. So BitTenzer on a nice little V-shaped recovery. We dipped down to about 304. We're back up to 357 on Tau. I like BitTenzer quite a bit. Dogecoin looks really good right now too. Can we not forget about Dogecoin? And I'm telling myself this too, but man, Dogecoin looks really, really good. We are really close to breaking out on Doge. If we get up and show strength at around 27 cents, which we're knocking on the door right now at 25 cents, look out. Doge is primed to rip back up to 40, 45 cents. We're still 66% down on Dogecoin, all-time high. ETF supposed to go live today. Their first ETF. It's not a classic ETF. I don't know all the verbiage, all the acronyms and shit. But it was a fast-tracked ETF. But it is not like a 2x long ETF either. It's not one of those ones that got accepted for XRP. It's legitimate, but they like fast-tracked it through like some kind of, I don't know, some kind of backdoor. Who knows? But that's bullish. I mean, they got a ton of other stuff filed too. Dogecoin does with the traditional 19B forms and all that crap. But anyway, what else is going on? Avalanche Foundation. Did you guys see this morning? Early this morning, like 5 a.m. came out. Avalanche Foundation in talks to establish a treasury company in the United States. Check this out. Foundation is aiming to raise $1 billion, and deals are expected to be finalized in the coming weeks, according to the Financial Times, citing sources familiar with the matter. One of the planned initiatives involves converting a NASDAQ-listed company into a treasury vehicle, a deal that involves a planned private investment of up to $500 million. So maybe that's why AVAX has been slowly cooking. Maybe there's some smart money there stacking. You know, you guys know how this crypto game's played with that, right? But that's some of the headlines right now across the board. Brian, what's going on, man?
Zach, what's up, brother? Good morning, guys. There's a lot going on, Zach. Obviously in the markets, but these last 24 hours have been pretty wild, to say the least. I think everybody knows what happened yesterday. Today being 9/11. So I'm just spending a lot of time in reflection today, man. I'm old enough to remember 9/11. I was a junior in high school. I think everybody who is remembers that day. And, I'm just going to spend a lot of time trying to stay positive, not get succumbed to all the finger pointing of what happened yesterday, and just try and move forward, man. It's a tough 24 hours. I'm here to, talk crypto this morning the best I can and try and avoid some of this negativity. One thing I will say, guys, is over the next, 7 to 10 days, there's going to be a lot of wild accusations, a lot of finger pointing, a lot of blaming, a lot of anger and disgust. The only thing I can say is, make a choice that if you're impacted positively or negatively when you post something, when you interact with something, because we all know there's enough negativity in this world. We don't need to feed that narrative anymore and just put a stop to everything that's kind of been going on in our country and move forward. But when it comes to crypto, Zach, I'm beyond excited. This market is just prime, dude. You can feel the momentum, these numbers coming back in line with expectations, which means that our path hasn't changed. I do believe almost certainly we see a 0.25 cut next week. It is possible, and there are some outlets calling for a 0.5 cut. And if that happens, I believe the markets don't have that fully priced in yet. We will see a pretty sizable run. So there's a lot of these projects out there, guys, that we've been talking about on this stage for months. And I believe almost all of them are going to perform. So I hope you had the ability to get in on some of these projects, these dips, some of these coins, because, man, I think we're just getting started. I mean, I'm not one of those, it's all over in Q4 guys. That October 25th is the end of the cycle. December is the end of the cycle. This is different, guys. I think we're going to rally through the end of this year into next year. And it's just going to be a slower kind of uptick in process. We're not going to see that insane euphoria with everything going to the billions, hitting 10Xs all over the place. It's going to be a more steady climb without the massive crash. That's just my thesis. That's just what I think. And, man, I couldn't be more excited to be a part of it. And then Zach, Peyton,
Brian,
yo,
stop being so humble, okay? Talk about you.
I think he was getting there, man. I think he was getting there.
I was just going to go there, Peyton.
You talk about everything else, but the most important thing I want to hear.
Yeah.
What the world wants to hear. Brian, I know you're running for president. Let's talk about you and this three-letter agency right now. Let's go.
Yeah. So, guys, I know about a week ago I was talking how I did an interview with the SEC, applied to be a part of that crypto task force roundtable event that they're having in Chicago. And yesterday I received confirmation. I will be attending that event. Only 6 projects got invited out of, dozens, if not hundreds of applicants. So that's a big deal, guys. That means the SEC not only vetted me, myself in an in-person, in an interview, but they did their research on what we're building, and they're fascinated by it enough to invite me to a conversation with some of these other startups, guys, that are going. Wait till you see the names. I mean, one of them just got a $25 million seed round from A16Z and Polygon. These aren't just, your run-of-the-mill startup crypto projects going. These are legitimate technology companies, future heavy hitters, building some serious tech. And to be a part of that conversation with the government, with the commissioner of the SEC, to help shape future regulation, to help get that guide rail, that roadmap that we as builders desperately need, man, I'm not only excited for PawChain, guys, I'm excited for the space, because they're opening this forum now, wanting to get feedback from us, these builders, meaning that they want to put in these guide rails to support us, to help us grow, to usher in this adoption and get people using all this new technology that's coming out there as we make this transition from the administration, quite frankly, with demonizing us, making us build in the shadows, to, hey,
Brian, you're rugging a bit.
What do you want to see from us? All right, Zach, I must be going through a bad spot. Can you hear me?
Got you better now, yeah.
Brian, are you running?
Okay, yeah,
right
I was
now?
just going through a bad spot. No, I'm walking. I walk like 5-6 miles every morning. So I'm out here on the Forest Preserve Trail, just kind of getting my exercise in. But yeah, dude, I can't wait to tell everybody about the event. It's going to be a 2-hour roundtable. There's like 8 topics of conversation. I believe the last one was televised. So this one might be televised and live stream as well. If it is, I'll make sure I share that with everybody. But this gives us, as a company, PawChain, guys, a massive amount of legitimacy that we've struggled, every startup struggles for in this space, is to prove that you're legitimate, that you're not a scam, that you're not just vaporware. And this kind of gives us that validation. And that's so exciting. I think that's why our community is so excited about this. I just love meeting, networking, talking to these people, the contacts I'm going to make, the ability for me to translate what I want as a builder in this space. Man, I can't explain how massive this opportunity is for us. And for the people just looking into PawChain, guys, I'm telling you, we're going to change this space. We are providing this tech that is going to be used. And when our time comes, it's going to come fast. I made a recent post about other blockchain protocols, guys, BNB, XRP, Solana, Cardano. 4 of the top 10 cryptos took them 4 to 5 years to get that mainstream adoption. It just takes some time. We've been live 14 months, guys, and look what we have accomplished already. I can't even imagine where we're going to be next year, the year after that, as we continue to build, grow, gain mind share, and, increase our presence in the space. So keep an eye out. Lots of news coming, guys. As always, Zach paid. You guys have been nothing but supportive. Zach from Subway down there, too, the Crypto Breakfast Club. Gosh, we've been going at this partnership now. I think this is the 13th month. And I just excited to grow with you guys, to not only see the growth of us, but to see the growth of you guys, your platform, the information you're sharing up here. This space gets bigger and bigger every day. The people who come up and speak on this stage are just intelligent, well-mannered, smart people, guys. Listen to some of these takes. Like, listen to Watasco when he's up here talking, sharing his knowledge. And all of this is free. Nobody charges anything. I've learned so much in this space. I found good, legitimate projects in this space, got involved in ONDO, Algorand, some of the smaller protocols that come up on this stage, getting early entries for if it's something that I believe in. And that's the kind of opportunity that exists here. So thank you, guys. Never forget today, guys. One of those days in history as an American that's just etched in your mind. You knew exactly where you were, what you were doing. And it's that seminal moment in my lifetime, being, going to be 41 years old next month. That's the biggest moment in the history of my life that changed everything, changed the way the world operates, the way travel works, quite simply the way things are done. And I'll land the plane with this, is after 9/11, guys, there was unity, patriotism, and support for your fellow American like I've never seen in my entire life. Flags were flying, Republicans were getting along with Democrats, everybody was on the same page, and for about a year or two, it just showed what we can accomplish as a country when we get along. And with the events that happened yesterday with Charlie, I want to remind people that that's what we need to focus on, unity rather than division, because guys, that division, that's what's going to tear the fabric of our country apart. That's what's going to, turn people against each other. You hear all this nonsense of civil war and all these crazy accounts coming out saying all these terrible things, blaming entire groups of people, generalizing people, and it's just dangerous. So keep that in mind. Stay positive, and we'll get through this together.
Love it, man. Appreciate that. Great insights as always. And guys, if you're not yet following Brian, PawChain, obviously go do that. They've been an amazing sponsor with us, and partner, we'll call them. I mean, day one, they're the first one. So it's been amazing, and just appreciate everybody as well. In light of what Brian mentioned, man, it's tough in the world, man, to find a group of folks, a group of people to just kind of come together and see eye to eye. And I think we've got something right here, and in this crypto space, it could be divisive as well. It could be crazy. People, kind of let their emotions get the best of them. But I think what we built right here is a microcosm of what we need more in the world, a place where people come together for a common good. And obviously we're all trying to get to the same place, right? Create a better life for our families, a better life for our friends, a better life for ourselves, and we help each other do it. And I think, whether how big or small of an impact that's having, I think it's a good example that we're all setting forth, and hopefully we could start to see that, in our political world and in our world at large. And that's what I'll say about, everything that's happening and that has happened here the last 24 hours. And it's sad, honestly, that people are losing lives because of different ideas and beliefs. We've got to be better. We got to be smarter and understand that, what this country, the United States, is built on is our differences. It's actually our strength. The fact that we're able to have free will and free thoughts and free speech, that's what built this place, and let's turn that into a positive and not a negative, man. It's just, it's tragic what happened. So I will say that. Go ahead, Paige. I see your hand up, man.
Zach, I can't follow that up. Rotate. Go to Wichasco, then come back to me. I was going to talk about snack and shit. Oh! I didn't say it. I didn't say it. I said shoot. I actually didn't say anything. I paused right there.
You can always count on Paige for some comedic relief, man. Debbie, what's going on?
I wasn't even trying to be comedic. I just don't know how to follow that up. I was going to talk about Snack's chart looking
Good
fucking
morning.
prime.
Oh, no swearing. Got the bar of soap out, Paige.
Yeah, no swearing, Debbie.
No swearing. Good morning. I know. Where do you go from here? Just, I guess, be a state of gratitude today. Be extra kind. Oh my God, I'm getting emotional. Yeah, it's a great time to be alive, and it's also a scary time. So be safe, be kind, and take a moment of silence that we're all here. We got up this morning, and you know what? It's a good place to start. Sorry. Why did you start to get choked up? Gee, I don't know how do you talk about crypto after this. But you know what? I'm going to turn it around. Deep breath. I'm going to turn this around right now.
Just going to say a bad word.
No, I had to take a deep breath. I did. I had to take a deep breath. I'm sorry. So we're going to take the next step here and go back to talking about what this space is about. And again, appreciation and gratitude all around. Now I'm going to segue in, and no one get mad because I'm going to turn the page, right, Zach? That's what I'm supposed to do. So, Fidelity, they're saying that Bitcoin's going to go to 1 billion. Would they put their name, that big name Fidelity global company, behind a statement like that? Anybody? Tell me.
No, I'm with you. I'm with you. I mean, there are some crazy price predictions out there, and I do think. Listen, I don't know about a billion, but I mean that would be. I mean,
I know, but why would they put their name behind that? You know what I mean? Why would they? That's big. It's not just like,
did
oh,
they
Joe Blow.
did they
You know
say
what
a
I mean?
billion by like 30, 40?
Good question, Zach. I don't even know. I know it's
No, I mean,
200 years from now, but you're right. I don't know. But just even just saying that, I mean, God, we'll be extinct.
yeah. But I mean, hey, you know what? $1 million Bitcoin by 2030. I think that's in the cards. I think that's in the cards.
Yeah, 5 years.
Yeah, I definitely think
Yeah.
that's in the cards.
For sure. For sure.
But
Sorry, I know I'm not bringing too much.
no, you're good.
Too much today. That's it. That's it.
No,
So be blessed, everybody. I'm here. Be blessed.
100%. And yeah, I just want to thank everybody again for being here. Make sure you guys share the space, share the room. Let's see here, Mike. What's going on, man?
Hey Zach, how's everything going today?
Good, brother. How are you?
Good, man. I'm was just following up. I listened to Brian, and I'm 46 years old. I went back to 9/11 in my mind, and he's right. I can remember everything about that day. Obviously yesterday, super sad day for I think the country. I think these guys that are living, they're basically dying for living their convictions. I mean, there's been examples of that, for many, many years, from Martin Luther King to John F. Kennedy to, Abraham Lincoln. There's all these guys that are, I think, just trying to be a light in their own life. And I think that when you have those people, you have to hold on to them, and you have to really listen to their messages that they deliver, because I think they're all rooted in good, even if you don't agree. And, I think when you have conversations with people, that's the whole point of being here. We're all learning, and none of us have it all figured out. But when you have a voice like a Charlie Kirk that is not pushing his beliefs or his opinions on anybody, he's just having conversations. That's where I think you can always level up in your life, and you just have to be willing to, be humble enough to say, hey, you know what, it's not about being right or wrong. It's just having a conversation. And so, I'm super, I remember how in 9/11 it was super patriotic. I feel that same love that I have for our country today. And I think moving forward, it's like, with heavy hearts, there's always going to be some of these crazies out there. There's 99% of the people on planet Earth are really good people. And there's all these like weird, people out there that you'll never understand and you'll never know. But, all these things are rooted, I think, and, there's a lot of good people. And I don't want to talk about sides, but it's like, I just know people, and it's like, they all want to be good people. They want to help, and they want to serve, and they want to, lift people up. And so super grateful for this space in crypto, because I think you have a lot of people in this space that are that way, that they're just learning and they're growing and they're trying to, help other people understand what this market is about and what comes next. And, I'm just super grateful to be part of it.
Yeah, I will say this, especially when you travel a lot, the one common denominator you see is people just want to hang out, take care of their family, and hang out with their friends. That's it. It don't matter what country you go to, what religion, it doesn't. That's all people care about. Like, I was just in France. I don't speak French that much, but when you go out and hang out with people at a cafe, that's all they're fucking talking. They're just hanging out with their friends, want to hang out with family, and I think 99% of the world, that's all it is. Take care of your family, have good friends, have a good social network, and eat good food also. That's it. That's all people want to do. No one wants to eat shitty. Oh, no, sorry, Zach. Sorry.
You can't do it, man. There's no way you can do it.
But that's all people want. They don't want to eat bad food. They want to hang out with their friends and family. So whenever you see like divisive stuff on TV or on the media or on X, trust me, the person that you think is quote unquote your enemy is a lot closer than you than a lot of these politicians, a lot of people in government, a lot of people running giant corporations around the world. Trust me when I say this.
I agree, man. I agree. I mean, most people, when you break it all down, I mean, most people want the same things, man. I agree with you. Most people just want to live a better life, spend better, have better, a better situation, spend time with their family, their friends, and just enjoy. I mean, that's really what it comes down to. And obviously, crypto is one of those vehicles that allows us to do that. And we're looking right now at this market that's slowly but surely maturing. And you talk to anybody who's been in crypto for a little while, and I think they all have this similar kind of feeling toward this space and the similar kind of excitement toward it, because we all kind of know that it's so new and there's such a big opportunity right here. And I was too young to invest in the .com era. I missed that wave. And when I started to get interested in investing, I was probably, I was like 29. I'm 35 now. Before I was 29, I never even looked at anything. And then, once I started really diving in and just, sacrificing a lot to kind of learn a lot, and still doing that, I saw this crypto thing and I'm like, you know what? It reminds me of when everybody was saying the same thing about the whole .com Web 2 space, that it's going to be a fad. It's going to be, here and then gone. And I'm like, well, what do I got to lose? Nothing. I got nothing to lose here. I'm 29. At that point, I was in debt up to my eyeballs. And sometimes I wish in a weird way, I could go back to that desperation feeling. There's you can't duplicate that, man. And if you use that for good, that feeling of desperation, like, let's just call it what it is, that F it mentality, man, it's beautiful, actually. It's beautiful. And I think a lot of people have that same sentiment, man. A lot of people have that same sentiment. They were tired as business as usual and kind of going through whatever it is they're going through in life, the 9 to 5, the whatever, right? And it's just like, man, I need to change a pace. I need to take a risk. I need to do something big here. I need to make a move. And they found this space. And that's why I love it, man. We have so many people that share that same optimism about where we're going, and they took the same risks, right? They heard the same things from their friends and family, that they're crazy and you're nuts and, what are you doing? And despite all of that, look at us. We're still here. And look how this space has changed in the last 4 or 5 years. Look how it's evolved. I mean, I can't wait to see what happens next. So I love it, man. It's exciting.
Yeah. Zach, I will say, I think it's Nelson Mandela that said it. My mom quotes it a lot. Everyone thinks it's crazy until it's done, right? Like that's how it is.
Yep.
No
Everyone thinks
what
you're
it
crazy until it works.
Exactly. Oh, planes can't exist. All right, brothers are like, oh, well, let's see what we can do. Automobiles, now, we're all going to ride horses for the rest of eternity. Yeah, let's make a car. It's one of those things, like, you got to take risk regardless of people's opinions outside of, your own realm, I guess you could say. And sometimes it is people in your own realm. Sometimes it's your own friends. It's like, that's not going to work. When I left the United States, people were like, nah, you can't. You'll be out there for like a week and come back. Bro, it's been 2 years. Sometimes you just got to rely on yourself and other people,
Yeah, and I mean, especially paid in a world that's changing so fast, due to, technology and AI and robotics. I mean, think about how fast we've come in the last 5 to 10 years. So to sit there and ignore this new technology that solves a ton of our existing issues and problems and makes it better, creates a level playing field. Like, when you really start breaking it down, I think what happens is people get so caught up in the word crypto and they have this negative connotation to that word, right? And that's where we really need to get to in terms of like bringing more people into the space and mass adoption and getting more people to see the bigger picture. Get rid of the word crypto and really think about where this world's going. Think digital, right? Okay, so how has this world changed immensely from a digital, standpoint? And if you look at like different times in history, we go through these massive evolutions. We go through all of these different phases. The agricultural era, right? That was at that time, that was groundbreaking, earth-shattering. Oh my gosh, what's going on? We're creating our our own food here. Like, this is insane in mass, proportions. And then we had the Industrial Revolution, and then we have the information age with the internet, and now we're in the digital age. And if you just look at it like that, if you just break it down like that, you start to see where the biggest opportunities are. Because you guys know, I mean, once you open Pandora's box, there's no closing it. So we're only going to get more digital. And this world's only going to become more immersive in terms of the technology that's going to impact us, right? So there you go. Insert AI, blockchain, robotics, right? And this digital world that's just ever evolving. And I think if we break it down like that to normies, we break it down like that to, people outside who still call us crazy, I think that's how we get there, man. And then they start to understand that this is just much bigger than a cryptocurrency or a coin. You know what I mean? I think that's where we need to get to. Let me throw it over to Tyler. Tyler, go ahead, man.
Hey, how's it going, guys? You're right about this whole new technology, and hey, did say something about riding horses. Like they did think that we were going to be riding horses forever. I think it was somebody. I have it somewhere saved on my computer, so I'm in my big work truck right now. But basically, it was like this guy wanted to invest into Ford, and this other banker was like, "Nah, don't do it. Those engines, they're just bad. You need to go into horses. We're gonna start we're gonna somehow make horses faster, like actual horses." And bringing this all together. I hope one day I get to meet y'all in person, shake you guys' hands personally. Y'all are great people, and I think that day will come eventually. Because I'm trying to get to all these huge events. And Zach, I want to purchase your I can't even think of what it's called right now. Your program that you're releasing. I don't know if you did release it. I don't think you did quite yet.
Not quite yet, Tyler. We should be live today, so be on the lookout on the feed. It's called the Inner Circle, so I'll keep you updated, man. We're really close, really close.
Yeah, awesome, thanks. But yeah, no, it's just, man, I'm just grateful to come here every day and always learn. I've been doing crypto for quite some time. I just have never really had the opportunities I still don't quite have all the opportunities to sit and study it all the time, which I wish I could. And I really do want to get to that point, because I do see, you guys live this awesome life. Like, you guys are living a really good life, and it's just inspiring. And I know with the whole, with everything going on today, and we're all coming together, and it's a beautiful thing that we're all still, here together with one another. So that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Appreciate you, man. And thanks for always being here and showing your support. And you got this, man. We all got this. If we're all in this room and we grow together, man, I'm telling you, we're all gonna get there. And everybody's just on a different timeline, So don't kind of don't compare yourself to other people and where they're at now. Just take what you can from a lot of great people and inject it into your plan, and that's the best way to go about it, in my opinion. So let me get up to Saga, and then we'll get over to Harry, and then Mutasko.
Hey guys, good morning. Yeah, as a Canadian, I definitely feel for you guys today. Yesterday was definitely rough. I didn't really sleep well last night. I just had a lot of thoughts running through my head. But you guys have been a safe place for me to come and ask questions and be welcomed on the stage every day. And yeah, you guys are real ones. And thank you for everything you guys do for me.
Definitely, man. Definitely. Glad to have you. And I can tell already, man, how much you've locked in the last few weeks, man. And I love it. That kind of stuff motivates me when I see other people get that same itch, to want it really bad. I love that, man. I want to surround myself with that kind of energy. So we appreciate you too. Harry, what's going on, man? Good to see you.
Hey, good. Yeah. Obviously, today is a day of remembrance, right? Never forget, and we will always remember this day and what it, where we were. I kind of want to preface that, for foremost, for sure. I got into a very interesting discussion with a couple of my friends in the Far East. One is of Russian descent. And I'm going to say something regarding crypto that threw me for a loop. And he came at it with an incredible perspective. I don't know if you guys have heard this. It's either termed the Great Reset or to reset the system, where a stable coin is valued, debt is transferred to that stable coin, then they devalue the stable coin, wiping out the debt. And that dawned on me on something that I've been seeing in crypto lately, the rise of these individual stable coins. What do you guys think about that?
Hey, Harry, this is what Russia has been saying. Putin himself saying that this is what the U.S. is doing. So I have heard this conversation.
You heard it too, Brian?
It's fascinating. Yeah. Yes, I have. When you start diving into it, you can find an angle where that makes sense. You know what I mean? Like with everything you're seeing, the adoption, especially USD1, World Liberty Fi, you got to think that they got some tricks up their sleeve. You know what I mean? To try, because traditional ways to get out of $35 trillion in debt, I simply don't think are feasible. And it makes a bit of sense. So yeah, I think you're spot on, Harry. I think that's a conversation worth having and definitely something to look into what they're doing with these stablecoins.
When I heard that, Brian, I'm like, yo, this group needs to know, like Zach and Pate and Motasco, this is a good group. And I just want to run it by because that's a very alarming yet interesting perspective. And obviously one of my friends is Russian-based, but he lives in Asia now, in Hong Kong. He's back in Hong Kong. And when he told me that, I'm like, really? And that threw me for a loop. And I'm like, but I see how it makes sense. And then he pointed out some other factors. Obviously, he told me not to say it, so I'm not going to say it. But he alluded to the fact that there are these multiple stable coins being issued and the transferring of debt. And he didn't refer to the U.S. In specific. But he did, kind of point towards, countries doing this that are in debt, where they adopt crypto and then transfer their debts over to a stable coin, whichever one they use, and then they devalue it. They devalue it, so basically they almost like sounds like they rug it, and that. Obviously you can't transfer $35 trillion into a stable coin. That adoption is ludicrous. But, if this is in reference to the U.S., maybe you could do 9 trillion, 10 trillion. And then, if you devalue it, wipe it out, there it goes. I'm like, it's just food for thought, and I'm like, you know what? I think this good group needs to hear that perspective, but I didn't know that was already brought up before.
Well, it's interesting too, Harry, because USDT, Tether, right, like already indirectly buys U.S. debt, right, because they back their reserves by U.S. Treasury bills. So, I mean, this is kind of already happening in a lot of ways with the largest stablecoin issuer. In Tether. And so it makes a lot of sense. I've never heard it laid out like this, and especially, coming from a different perspective there. But really fascinating. I'm curious to get somebody else's thoughts on this. Mutasco might have some interesting takes here. And then we do have a new speaker up there, Michael. I want to get to Michael there after Mutasco. Mutasco, you able to speak? There he is.
Yeah, no, give it to Mike before I smoke anybody out.
Gotcha. Gotcha, man. Michael, what's going on, man? Welcome to the stage.
Yeah, good morning.
Glad to have you.
Thanks, man. Yeah, I haven't been able to pop in a little bit and bouncing around. I actually took a trip to France for about almost 2 months, but catching back up with everyone. That's still here and active. But I mean, there's a lot of things changing that I've noticed. I don't know if you guys have been following, like things that are going on with some of the majors like AVAX, Polygon. A lot of changes happen in the space. And yeah, as Brian put it earlier, you know, building takes time. I think that's a big thing that people don't get in the space is that, you know, things take time to build, not just weeks, months, but years for things to happen. And yeah, I do think we're going to see like, you know, multi-million dollar Bitcoin down the line, but it's not going to be tomorrow. I don't think so anyway. It'll be probably a while, years down the line. But yeah, just pacing yourself and, you know, to say DC into things and, you know, having exposure and, you know, evolving technology. I think a lot of things are pushing more multi-chain these days. We're not really seeing the need for centralized exchanges for what they really bring to the space. Things are becoming more on-chain and what's being built. I was actually at even at a consensus last year, and they have these like cookie cutter setups where you're able to basically build your own Bitmart exchange and just pay a subscription to like onboard other tokens, and that's less than like $100,000 to do something like that. And it's just a lot of stuff that's changed in the space over the last like few cycles and what you can do and what's happening. But yeah, interesting times now and definitely ahead. But one thing I would bring up, get people's thoughts on this. What do you guys think about the liquidity fees that are being, you know, pushed out there on like Pump Fund and people now diving into like making their own creator tokens? Do you think that's a new fad or do you think it's going to last for a while?
Michael, I think that's a definition of a fad, dude. I'm kind of a bit a little in the trenches, and this reminds me so much of the celebrity coin meta. Like this will eventually kind of fade, like all metas do. But my God, what it did for Pump Fund, that was a winning move by Anon to be able to do this because they brought attention back to that platform because they were getting smoked, man. All these other competitors were coming out. You know, you had Bonk picking up a ton of market share. They were really struggling, and this kind of injected some more life and liquidity and mind share, market share through these streamers into the space. Do I think it's sustainable? No. Just look at every one of those creator coins, guys. They all just rugged. You know, you're just going to get in, and unless you got early entry, you're just going to lose your money. So play the game if you want to play the game. I think it's a fad. I don't think it will sustain. But it has done a good job getting mind share. So I'm curious to see if we do see an expansion of that on some of these other platforms.
Yeah, I'm with you there, Brian. Michael, I'm curious. You referenced Avalanche and Polygon. If you could unpack that a little bit, what's changed? Excuse me, what's changing with those? I'm curious.
I mean, a lot. I mean, look at the dexes that are popping up. I don't know if you're following the Pharaoh or the Black Hole dex that's out there. The changes that happened with like, well, it used to be called Trader Joe, but now it's called, you know, LFJ. I don't really think the branding was a great idea, but yeah, there's a lot of adoption that happening over there. And I don't know about you guys, but yeah, I've been hearing a lot of things moving around on the Polygon side. With people building up projects and the NFT side. And I think we might see a blow off similar to what we saw with Ethereum. Not Ethereum, but Solana. But it's just popping up a lot of my circles. I don't know what's happening with you guys in regards to Polygon. But yeah, it seems like it's getting a little bit, I guess, spicy over there, and to say it like that. But yeah, AVAX, I feel, personally, it's like seriously undervalued with all the partnerships and stuff that are building and the different, platforms that are coming up in DeFi. And I think that everything that even Trader Joe was doing before it even rebranded with like their liquidity pool structures was basically what V4 is now on Uniswap and what later became, infinity pools on PancakeSwap. But they already had it. You already had the option to do that stuff over there for a while. So I think the technology is fairly advanced over there. I think the biggest thing is that, for degens, for the most part, they haven't really seen a runner to take up a lot of that supply that's being emitted into the market. But I think that's slowing down. If you look at the emissions in the schedule, and I think it's going to pop at some point when it starts to get more adopted. But, stuff like that is where things do well in the space, like looking at, what's being built out, how things are formulating, what's the feel of the entire ecosystem, and you could do very well there. But yeah, I would dive in, guys. If you haven't looked into AVAX, look into Polygon. Also check out Abstract if you guys haven't checked out what's happening over there. There's a lot of growing pains. I've been researching on the chain in regards to like wallets and certain bots don't work and the portal ABS doesn't display PFPs and it's delayed and community formation is taking place and it could be something, big, especially with their TG coming out in the point system, however that's going to work. But it's like looking into this new tech and what's happening that can give you an early advantage if you really dive into, what's going on in that space. And, same with like, D-Bridge and Deport, what they're doing over there and how they're adding chains. I think they're currently the only multi-chain platform that allows projects to go to Abstract currently, which is interesting. But a lot of tech changes out there, a lot of cool stuff, a lot of stuff with liquidity and things you can do with like, CLMMs and, Meteor has a new dam pools that are over there. But not really make it a liquidity space, but basically just saying that there's a lot of things changing. And I think Abstract, AVAX, Polygon are probably going to do some big moves in the near future.
I like it, man. Good insight. It's been a while since I've heard about Polygon. I liked Polygon quite a bit back in 2020, 2021. I'm curious if you have thoughts, like, because now there's more competition in the L2 space, right? You've got Arbitrum, Optimism, and now Base. How does kind of Polygon stack up? Or I guess, why do you like Polygon over those other three right now?
Polygon's been around for a while. We go back last cycle. I mean, what do we have? This BNB and Ethereum. All these different chains, they all have speed and low fees. And what I'm seeing over there is just mostly just community formation, ease of use. The wallets you can add the RPCs pretty much everywhere. I mean, you look at it, it's on Phantom, which is wild in my opinion that BNB and AVAX aren't on Phantom yet. But that's probably something else going on there when that doesn't happen. But it seems like this is getting adoption again. And, ease of use and the speed of it and that it's an old school chain that did suffer a little bit of a rebrand. I think when you rebrand, it does take a little bit of a hit. Look what happened to Sonic, which used to be Phantom. It seems like it's coming back to the same. But yeah, I would just dive into it more. But it's not going to be like, oh, it's so much faster, so much cheaper, because there's a lot of cheap, fast chains out there. That's not really the thing. You look at like how things are forming and what's being added to it, and how the community's growing. And I'm just starting to see that a lot more when I pop into spaces. There's always someone that's talking about building something on Polygon now. And I wasn't seeing that a while ago, and it's like whispers and that I see popping up, and it's getting my attention. I don't know if you guys are seeing the same thing when you're bouncing around spaces, but I've been seeing it more and more happening these days.
Appreciate that. No, I love the alpha, love the insights. Let me kick it back over to Paid. Paid, your hands up. What do you got, man?
Of course, you catch me with a mouthful of sugar-coated peanuts. But Zach, wait, real quick, guys, share the room. Script the Breakfast Club, the best show in the morning. Gosh darn it.
We do have just a little tidbit on that. We've got over 700 people listening live too on YouTube, X, and Rumble. So shout out to everybody listening live across all those platforms. And if you guys have questions listening in on those platforms, let me know. We'll interject it and throw it into the space. But go ahead.
I'm still eating some peanuts here, but can we talk about Ledger yet, Zach? I feel like it's burning a hole in my pocket. Let's do it.
Go ahead, yeah.
Guys, still eating peanuts here, by the way. I'm not going to stop either. Listen, Ledger, a representative of Ledger reached out to Zach via email because we were going to conference in Germany, which was a great conference, by the way. Shout out to those guys. And they presented us with a custom Ledger with a little Breakfast Club logo on it. And I'm talking, as I do, talk a lot. I was like, hey, what about the Breakfast Club and Zach Humphries? What can we do here? He said, you know what? When you're in Paris, come to our headquarters. And I went. I went there at their beautiful state-of-the-art headquarters that literally looks like something out of a James Bond movie, a little villain's lair. Shit's ridiculous. And we got a little deal done. So Zach, and Breakfast Club, of course, is now partnering up with Ledger. Officially announced tomorrow, but Monday's like the day things are happening. So yeah, we're with Ledger now. Thank you. We needed a hardware wallet partner. I've been saying this for at least 6 months. Like, we need a wallet. People always ask me, oh, well, what do they like? All right, well now it's Ledger. Don't ask me no more questions. The answer is Ledger. So Zach will have a landing page, I believe, on Ledger's site. Where you can buy some Ledger products. I know they have some sports tickets they'll be giving away and stuff. So Dr. Kong, get ready. Pack your bag. Thank you. Dr. Kong is my travel buddy. We're going to travel. We just did UFC and Patrick VJ. But so shout out to Ledger for that. Shout out to Jean. They're French. Guys, I don't know if you know this. Ledger is based founded in France. So that headquarters is actually their main headquarters. They have offices all over the world. But yeah, so we had a great meeting there, and then got Zach on the phone with Jean. That's how you say it, Jen. Fun fact, it's my dad's name. But anyway, so yeah, Ledger is in the fold with Breakfast Club and Zach Humphries. Look out for an official announcement, I guess, tomorrow. And then Monday will be the day. There's gonna be discount. I think what we're doing is any Ledger project you get through Zach's page, you get like $10 in Bitcoin or something like that. The cheapest Ledger, I believe, right now is like $39 or $49, and then the most expensive one, which is like their new flagship model, is like $250. But if you get one for $40, obviously you secure your stuff, not your seeds, not your crypto type thing, not your keys, not your crypto. But now you can secure it for at minimum $40, right? And get 10% back in Bitcoin. So that's great. Love that. There'll be more offers and deals as we go forward. This is the first, I guess you could say, week or month or iteration of this. But we're looking for a long-term partnership here. How to keep, Jean has already invited me to the Ledger event in Singapore. Zach forgot to tell you about that. He hit me up this morning. They have their own little side event on the 30th. So when I go to Singapore, I'm supposed to be there. But shout out to Ledger. Happy to be on board with that. Zach, congratulations. And yeah, here we are, guys.
Let me just say this, and don't get a big head on this. All right. But I mean, obviously we started the Crypto Breakfast Club, I don't even know, 15 months ago, something like that. I can't even remember anymore. We've been doing it for a while. And obviously, Zach and Paid, myself came together, kind of started this thing. And, it's been amazing to watch this thing come to fruition. It's one of the things I do. It's obviously a big part of what I do now. Obviously on the YouTube side, got a couple other businesses, and there's a lot that goes into this, man. Like, people don't really see what actually happens on the backside of this, and trying to do this by yourself as a content creator as you scale up, it's not easy, guys. Like, I know, I always tell people, it's like, oh, I'm a YouTuber. They're like, oh man, you got the life. And it's like, I do, and I wouldn't trade it for the world, but I work way harder now than I ever did, and I love it. But honest to God, man, I basically brought Paid on full time. He's basically my business development manager now. I mean, he's been, I don't even know, Paid, what, full time, maybe 5 months, 6 months, maybe even longer. I can't keep track of time anymore. But just want to give Paid his flowers, man. This guy can go in any room and talk to anybody. I mean, he's the reason why we got Sunny Lou on this stage, and stayed with us for 2 hours, by the way. I mean, and Paid just has that gift of going up to people, and making an impact. And he's helped grow, our business immensely. And I just want to shout you out, man, because honestly, dude, you've helped me out a lot. You've helped grow this Breakfast Club. and you always bring great energy, and just appreciate you, man. Seriously. So again, don't let that go to your head. Keep working, keep grinding. You know what I'm saying? But
yeah, I'm gonna act like you didn't say anything, or I'm gonna start crying like Debbie did.
All right, good. But yeah, let's keep it moving. Let's see who else here.
And real quick, also, guys, if you are meeting us out, in Singapore and or Futurist Conference down in Florida, let us know.
Can we say that we're close to getting an event together for Florida, Paid?
Yeah, you gotta post the details.
We are. You know, we're getting there.
We're close. We're close. We're trying to get a really
closer than we have been.
What we're working on right now is like a 200 to 300 person little happy hour event with some food and in a good spot at the Hollywood spot there down in north of Miami. So there's a lot going into that too. Yeah. So hopefully a bunch of people can show up and head out there because it's gonna be a lot of fun. But can't wait to meet as many people as we can out there.
And where can we find those details? When are they available, men?
Well, the conference is already set. I mean, you can get your room set up now, Debbie, already. I mean, they've got a room block out there. In terms of the private event, it's not solidified yet. There's a lot going into it. We're trying to get some sponsors and do it right. It's not cheap, obviously.
But what's the event date? I'm sorry, what's the event date and location? Where do I get that info?
Yeah,
so Futurist is November, what is it, 4th and 5th? Hold on, I can pull it up real quick just to verify.
Yeah, it is. Futuristconference.com.
Yeah. So it's the 4th and the 5th. I think what we're talking about with the and you can more into you, Subway. I think what we're talking about with the side event is going to be on the 4th, on opening day. That's what we're looking at right now. We are talking to.
No, it's the 5th and 6th.
It's the 5th and 6th. Okay, so the 5th. Whatever the opening day. I think they do have a small opening event also on the 4th.
I just DM'd you, Debbie.
And this is in Fort Lauderdale, everybody? Fort Lauderdale?
Yes. Yeah, it's technically Hollywood, Florida, but yeah, basically, I think you fly into Fort Lauderdale.
All right, will you post the details on your...
I just sent you a DM with the website.
Perfect, thank you.
Yeah, and they've got the Florida and the Toronto.
The event itself is probably going to have a Luma page, so that's lu.ma. I talked about this on the show before, Luma. Yep. They have events for all the like music, concerts, whatever, but they also have a really big crypto page. So guys, if you guys go to lu.ma, that page, if you click on crypto, all of the major conferences around the world, all their side events are there. So you can go there and see what's happening in Singapore, see what's happening wherever, and just click on side events and, hopefully you get approved. Sometimes you get approved. Even I don't get approved a bunch of times. But when you do, that's where you would get most of it. So when we do, officially lock this in, we will have a page there for you to sign up. It should be a good time. A little 2-hour happy hour. There you go.
Yeah, Florida, November 5th and 6th. Charles Hoskinson, one of the main speakers, too. So, I mean, there's some big names. Yeah.
Wow.
It's a pretty nice lineup.
I get to meet you people in person. Boom.
Yeah, let's do it. Brock Pierce, Bitcoin pioneer Brock Pierce is going to be speaking. Co-founder of Tezos. A lot of top 100 project CEOs, co-founders. They're going to be speaking. Charles will be there. I'm not that kind of big name, but I'll be speaking, so that's cool.
No, Zach's a big name. Don't humble yourself, Jesus.
I'm no Charles Hoskinson or Brock Pierce.
Who's Zach?
Exactly, and I have no idea what the hell I'm even talking about yet. So there's that. And they're like on my shit right now. They're like, send your slides, and I'm like, dude, I have no idea. I'll figure it
Zach
out.
language, sir. You're streaming.
Oh, yep. Shoot, darn it.
See, it's not that easy.
It's not. Brian's got his hand up. What's up, man?
Yeah, I just wanted to kind of jump in. Yeah, I'll be down Futurist with you guys, so we'll be definitely hanging out and invite everybody to head down there. That's going to be a fun event, man. I don't know if any of you guys have ever been down that area before. Great place, great energy, all kinds of things to do. And Florida is a pretty nice place in November, so definitely looking forward to that. But talking about your partnership with Ledger, guys, I mean, Jesus, huge, man. Congratulations, Zach, paid Zach. I just wanted to let people know, guys, I use a Ledger. It is so much easier than you think. Everybody in this space, if you have sizable investments, hell, even if you don't, you should understand how to use that cold wallet. It is incredibly easy. Take the time, watch a 5-minute video on YouTube. That's it. They walk you through the process, how to set it up on the website. It is so easy to do, and it's something that will protect your assets. So I can't stress enough the importance of using something like a ledger. It is everything in this space, because the most experienced guys, I'm telling you, you wake up one day, go to check your wallets or your wallet, and there's nothing in there, and it's like getting your guts ripped out. And it happens every single day to some of the most experienced people out there. So always practice that. But man, shout out, dude. I can't wait to come down and see you guys in November. What you guys have built over the last 15 months. Oh my God. Dude. We are definitely going to party. Hey, Toby Keith, man, I ain't as good as I once was, but one time I'll be as good as I ever was. And that will be that one time, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, you're crazy, Brian. I want to jump in on the ledger conversation. So definitely a couple of security points. First of all, if you're going to buy a ledger, buy it from the actual website, right? They might have an official link off of Amazon, but make sure you go through them, because anyone can grab that ledger, put in, basically configure it so they have your seed phrase. So be smart out there. Love that.
Zach will have his own page via Ledger's site as well. So you guys, the link that he posts whenever he does that will actually be through Ledger itself.
Perfect. And yes, and this is financial advice. Get a cold storage wallet. Put all your main assets on there and have a fun wallet that you play with. It's offline. You don't have to do some kind of the backup stuff they have where it goes online. You can skip all that. I have a couple ledgers, and I even split my main assets up between two of them, so I'm even double protected, right? So you have to play smart, because you could hit a nice 50, 100x, right, in your hot wallet, and wake up and it's gone because you signed some kind of permission that you don't know. So when you make money, what I do is I use it as like a 401k savings, and as I take profits, I move it over there. And I've never hooked up to a DApp or anything. It's literally offline. And I wake up every day going, whew, I know I'm safe. If I fuck up on, some other assets down the road, like, it is what it is, because I don't keep all my money in this fun wallet that I play with. But on the flip side of that, you can use revoke.cash, and I would pay the $1 transaction and remove permissions off of these shit coins that you play with, because, down the line, they could wait for your wallet to fill up and dust you, honestly. So I think there's a huge aspect that we never talk about. Well, we do a little bit, but not as much as we should, because we talk about how ways to make money in this space, different avenues, but security is key, because you can work your ass off, you can have a great bag, and you can lose it the next day if you're not smart. And obviously, safe storage your seed phrase. I actually do what Vitalik does, and I get my seed phrase, I split it up, and I put in two different safes. So basically, he was smart. He did it two different countries. I think one was at his mom's house, and the other one was in the United States. So, you really have to pay attention to this stuff, because this is your lifeline. Like, the world is changing towards this space, and number one thing is have your seed phrase and be safe with your assets. So Ledger is a huge one. I'm so excited about this partnership. I really didn't know that much about it. I heard about a little bit, but I'm not really in the loop on that. But that is such a great company, and I back them. I don't care what anyone says. They've proven, what they've done, and you just got to be secure with it. You don't always have to do all the features they have, I forgot, some kind of backup thing. I skip all that. Just keep it offline. Be safe with it. Get one. Play with it. You can always change the seed phrase, but definitely go from official sources. 100%. People aren't here to scam you. Just remember that. So make sure you buy from an official source. But shout out to the Breakfast Club. Doing this forever. This is just the beginning. I don't think anyone understands. And I'm building this magnificent thing that's going to blow everyone away. Can't wait to talk to Zach and Pate about it. I'm like 90% there. I've been going at it for weeks, just like I haven't really been on X that much, just building, and I'm doing it all myself. So super epic stuff, man. I'm so happy to be a part of the Breakfast Club. And, that's what happens. You put out positive energy comes back to you. That's how it is. So shout out to the Breakfast Club. I'm going to shut up and let's get back to the space.
I'm crying. He said, I'm going to shut up. I am going to try to work on the back end to get another ledger for a giveaway. So give me a week or two on that.
You
But
know,
yeah,
you know what we did not talk about today yet, and I don't even think we talked about it yesterday because we saw it after the space. You guys remember when we had Naoris on and their CEO talking about post-quantum infrastructure? Remember, he came on and talked with us for a while. So Naoris was sitting down there at like 2 cents for a really long time. They did a 6x in 48 hours. They went up to 12 cents. That chart exploded out of nowhere. So shout out to Naoris, sponsor of the Breakfast Club and myself, and we entered a year-long partnership with them. Again, their protocols working on a decentralized post-quantum infrastructure. They've been around since 2018. They're a Web 2 company turned Web 3. So shout out to them. I am going to have David, their CEO, back on very soon. I was actually in contact with him yesterday, and we'll have a deeper conversation. That was a really interesting conversation that day about quantum computing, which you know I'm not super well versed, but man, I learned a lot in that like hour and a half discussion on that. So can't wait to have him back on, or maybe him and a couple others from their team, from the Naoris team, back on and talk a little bit more about that. But just wanted to shout them out. They had a huge run up on their chart over the last few days, and still up even on this drawdown. They're still up 183% in the last 7 days. So shout out to them. Well deserved there. Let's see, Mike, what's going on, man? Got your hand up.
I just wanted to go back to this whole Russia accusation deal because I think it's actually pretty. It's pretty big that they would come out and say something like this, and I want to just kind of talk about it for just a minute because I think the whole idea of wiping out the 35 to 37 trillion dollars through stablecoins, it makes sense. I mean, they're talking about what Nixon did in 71, 72, where they unpegged the dollar from gold to kind of inflate its way out of debt. But, to do that today, I mean, the government would need to be issuing stable coins, which they're not. Which they're doing right now is they're saying that, hey, if you're going to issue a stable coin, we don't care, if it's through Circle, Tether, Bank of America, whoever it is, we just want it backed by some type of treasury, something pegged 1-to-1 to the USD. And so, for them to say that they're going to, wipe away and reset the debt, it's like you would have to tell all those private companies who are in the business of making profit that they're going to have to over-insure every single dollar. And you're going to tell them like, hey, for every dollar you buy, you need to buy $1.5 in or 1.5 in treasuries. It's never going to happen. And I think that, again, this is 2025. The world is much smaller. Information travels much quicker. And I think the world, they would see right through this if that started happening. And somebody's going to have to call bull. The other part of this, though, is like, Russia doesn't want to have anybody sanction them anymore. The U.S. has been the governing body for the world. They've been the policing force. They have bases all over the world, for military reserve. And it's because they've never invested in their own military. They don't have any opportunity to really stand up for themselves. And so they've asked the U.S. over all these years to be the policing force. And I think, you have these nations like Russia, Iran, they don't want to be sanctioned anymore. They want to act in the best interest of themselves and have nobody tell them what they can do. So I think it's a pretty wild accusation. But I think the bullish part of this that we need to understand is if Russia is saying this, the writing is on the wall. They know what's happening next. Stablecoins is the future of the monetary policy, whether it's in US dollars. The US is basically solidifying itself in that. And so I think it's a wild accusation, but I can see that there could be an angle to it. But first, the government would have to be issuing a stable coin on their own, which they're not.
Appreciate that. Great insights. Zach, you got something on that? Or I see your hand still up.
No, my hand's not up.
Oh,
My
it
phone's
must be a
tripping
glitch.
out.
Must be a glitch on my end. I'm on the laptop today because I'm doing the lives. Mutasco, is your hand up? Because it shows your hand up on my end too.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Can I smoke now? Okay.
Smoke it if you got it. Smoke them if you got them.
No, I like coming here because everyone loves breakfast, and you're the Crypto Breakfast Club. And there's another thing that everyone likes. Everyone likes getting paid, and there's paid in the space. So I always hang out here just to learn. But one of the things that I would say is this: I think it was early 2022. I came across a book called Super Hubs. And this is the only thing I'm going to say about this topic, and I'll move on really quick. It was written by Sandra Navidi. And as I went through the book, I came across J.D. Vance's memoir called The Hillbilly Elegy. The lady Sandra referenced that book, right? It's a memoir, so whatever. So I went after it, and I read. And this is how I kind of learned a little bit about who J.D. Vance was, his story, all that crap. And one of the things about the book, and I this is vaguely, I heard him reference his grandma as Mama and Papa, whatever, and it talked about the story that nobody talks about. Every time this stupid tension crap gets amplified by the media. We all can learn from this, by the way, right? Because if we all just kind of project positivity and maybe think about how we can change our own economic situations, and maybe if we have a chance to sit next to a politician, challenge them on economics versus anything else, maybe our wealth and life will be better. What I would say is this: when I went through that, it made me like who JD Vance was. I don't know who he was. I've never met him, whatever. I'm like, who is this guy? I mean, this is really inspiring. And it goes back to what you said, Zach, about your spaces, right? The quality of information, the things that we even talk about, right? It helps people kind of, you wake up a little bit, right? Instead of just sitting there. And so what happened was, and if you remember, Zach, when Polymarket started doing who's going to be Trump's vice president, I said it's very likely it's going to be J.D. Vance, right? And the reason I said that then was because of everything I read about him. But here's another thing I'm going to say, because the things he said in the book was more like, the critical part of that memoir was like victimhood and lack of agency. And he went deep into explaining what that was, right? It's like, people just literally blaming, the world is dying and I'm going to quit my job. Like, there are some things people make that literally escalates their problems. And they blame it on somebody else, right? And so for me, finding crypto, while I have everything I do in my life, I found this as like a key. And most people that are successful, you ask them, they probably got some keys handed to them by somebody through network, through whatever, right? If you block that road, you're gonna have a problem, and you will be so tensioned, and you end up blaming other people for your problems. So the reason I come here every day is because I just try to keep myself updated, right? These spaces I can't talk, but when I get the mic and I'm talking, I'm also working, right? So I'm like, I can't go back and forth. I just throw what I have to do and I go back and plug in. Long story short, I encourage people to go read that. If you've never read it, I'll highly encourage you, pick that up, read it. The reason I'm saying this is a lot of things haven't changed. And Brian, you were talking about this earlier, right? In the 1980s, right, there's some statistics out there, and this is a little bit nuanced. CEOs made like 33 times the average worker. Today, 285 times. So Again, so if you're in the CEO column or you're trying to get in that column, you're probably going to do well if you find something great. So good luck to you, Brian, as you push towards that. When you spoke earlier, that was what came to my mind. And bear in mind, guys, a lot of these, whether it's total compensation or equity holdings or whatever, if it's equity, right, the CEO has all their money tied in equity and maybe Amazon goes up or maybe Larry Ellison that we just had, Oracle gets a big deal and the stock jumps, they just keep doing better, right? So what we don't have is we hung up on this W-2 thing, right? And all it is, yeah, I have healthcare, I have that, I have this, and then that's it. There's no other thing going on. It's just a job. And then we keep blaming people, right? So maybe we can think differently about this. And the point I'm going to make, and I'll shut up, is this. Yesterday, when we were talking, I said the Fed and what is about to happen, right? Guys, whatever Jerome Powell does next week is going to signal to the market whether the Fed is cutting because, and this is coming from what Tom Lee likes to spin it like, right? He says, are they cutting because they're preemptively seeing the data, showing the signals that the economy is slowing down and they're trying to be ahead of it? Or they're going to be stubborn and not cut and get too late that they will ring the flag bell and say, you know what, we can't control this anymore. We should find another solution. Now, so if whatever will happen in next week, this market is likely to go up, right? Based on what they say. Because that's a chance we have. The window is closing, right? October, November, and then, you know, the rest, who knows what would happen. The extension, I'm not even banking on that, right? If it happens, that's good luck. But one of the fascinating thing that I noticed yesterday as we do this, there's a lot of buy-in on Bitcoin, on Ethereum, new wallets, institutions, they're scooping up stuff. And I'm like, and for anybody who's not paying attention to on-chain data and tracking some of this stuff, you probably think I'm just blowing some smoke. But while there's distraction, there is some strategic buying going on. And the thing that I'll remind you guys is, I think the Gold Council, I forgot the full name. It was probably a year or 2 years ago. They put out a publication about gold is running out or something like that. I don't remember the title, but fast forward today, we're seeing gold literally ripping. So usually when the buying is happening and it's done mostly OTC, it doesn't hit the chart. So people are like, why are they buying so much and the chart is not moving? Well, it will move at some point. And when it starts to move, you may not be able to catch it. But the last thing I'll say is Robinhood, and I think we talk about this a lot in these spaces. Robinhood, I watched the Robinhood Summit and I was blown away, right? I mean, that company is literally building a lot. And if I hold the Robinhood shares, by the way. So, like, if you just want to bet on it, it might be a good bet, okay? Robinhood, Coinbase, I think Coinbase needs to wake up a little bit, right? It looks like they're being too slow, but I like the competition. I like the innovation. I like the push for these companies to like figure out how they can reallocate their capital into some really interesting things. This is the free market. This is what the free market is supposed to be, right? You fight in competition. You try to allocate your resources wisely. You also think of innovation. So when I look at Coinbase and I look at Robinhood and what they're doing, owning it in your portfolio is not a bad idea, right? So there's a lot of opportunities that are looking at us right now. Yet people are being sold distraction, right? Which is unfortunate. And again, if you drift into that, you're going to have a hard time, right? Because the world is moving on and it's moving at the fastest pace that I've ever seen in my life. And for that reason, if you're not using any other tools and you're just stuck in the past, you're going to have a hard time. Again, there's AI, and I've said this, and every time I say this, I'm reminding people, if you're not using AI right now, I don't know what you're doing, right? Whatever profession you're in, whether you're in the advisory, finance, whatever, trading, you have to at least leverage AI. Learn to prompt, figure out how you can, like, just practice, right? Just practice it, see how it works, see how you can use it to do things, right? It's like saying, I can work hard enough. Well, if your money can actually make you more money faster, you should actually allocate capital in things that would do that for you. Because if you're stubborn and you say, well, I'm strong enough, I'm healthy, and I have a great job, I'm just gonna focus on that. Are you gonna be able to achieve your goal faster? Maybe allocating the capital might get you there faster if you know what to do. But fortunately, we have AI. So if you leverage it, you're actually removing a lot of the noise and getting more signal. And this is what AI is all about, right? Again, this is a great space, Zach. I hope you guys continue to do this. I hope I can get my own channel, okay? Because I don't have, like, usually it's kind of hard, but there's a lot that, we all can share and help each other grow. And that's all this is about for me. There's nothing here, like, I'm not doing this for any glut or whatever. I'm just doing it because I love it. And when you find something you love, I don't know how to describe it. I wish everybody luck in finding that, but I love crypto. I love blockchain. I love the innovation, and that just gives me hope for life. For those that are depressed, I hope you find some value in the innovation that we're in today, and maybe tap into it, right? I tagged you, Paid, on what Harry was talking about. There's this lady called Morgan Belly. Bella is what her name is. She wrote a paper called Stablecoins, a Defense Tech. It's a fascinating write-up. So I think who was talking was Michael. He was spot on. The thing is, it's complicated, it's nuanced, but I referenced two papers, right? Circle did one around risk, which is wrapped around stablecoins. And the Bella one, which is the stablecoins that are defense tech, it has a lot of important things in it. And the way I frame it is that if the Russians are talking about it, and if somebody like me can find these papers and read them, what do you think they can? They can do anything. So everybody knows now, it's just a matter of time when this sets in. But I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think it's imminent. It's not like maybe a year, 5 year, 10 year, maybe 20 years. Who knows? But it's going to take a while for this to settle in. And for that reason, again, I put the paper in the comment section for anybody who wants to go read it. Just go read it and you understand why I'm saying this. There is plumbing underneath that is going on. It takes time. Even if you read the Basel framework for digital asset risk, is what it's called, you will see what they're doing. They're mapping out all the risk weighting. They're mapping out the categorization of tokenization, why this is important and that. If you read all of those things, you won't dismiss the Russians saying something like this and say, well, yeah, they're just blowing smokes. No, they know what they're talking about. And it may not happen today.
Appreciate that, man. Appreciate it. As always, Mutasco. Make sure you guys give Mutasco a follow. You guys know he's here all the time, dropping tons of great alpha, tons of great information. Paid, what's up, man? What do you got? Paid, your hands up. Or unless that's just on my end.
No, it's up. I can see it.
Okay.
Yo, I'm here. My God. My bad. I honestly forgot. It's been so long. Mutasco.
I smoked him out.
You got me out of the house, bro.
You out.
Like, there's too many flies in the house. Play some incense or something. Share the room. That's all I got. I forgot what it was. If I remember, I'm just going to cut back in so I don't lose.
Hey guys, how's it going? I haven't been here in a minute, but I'm happy to be back.
What's up, man? What's on your mind?
Well, today, for about a day now, I was like in the trenches and in spaces, and everybody is kind of somber about the unfortunate thing that happened. Where I don't like to really talk about it too much, but I mean, I do feel bad about it, but I don't think we have to keep on recycling it. But what I like to talk about, though, in times like this is, more important things like community coming together and why we're strong. The crypto communities are very strong because we've been through a lot of difficult positions, and we are at the forefront of the most important thing that's happening on Earth right now. And I think that's cool. It brings together. It's an energy. It's a movement. And I'm lucky right now because I was asked to. I'm in this group with StreamerCoin, and we give donations out to people who need it on a couple platforms as part of our white paper. And what we do is we give donations to streamers as subs to grow their fan base. And so the fan bases can grow to them. And we're trying to connect, the world together. Kind of like, how people didn't have an opportunity before when we were banking the unbanked, which was really important to us a couple of years ago. It was like one of our slogans. There was T-shirts and tattoos about just that idea. Well, what we're trying to do is we're trying to connect the disconnected, to bring communities together a little bit. So far, we've donated $90,000 on-chain receipts and live feeds of helping people out. A good example is one that I've pinned to my wall is that we gave a U.S. Army vet who is partially disabled, who is on his Twitch space, trying to bring people together and he also volunteers to communities for PTSD. And we subbed him 600 subs yesterday. And it was a touching thing. It was a real deep feeling to watch it. But we do it a lot. We donated to over 200 people so far. And obviously we have some people who do the whoop in the and then the cool reaction, kind of like almost from like one TV show, I think it's called Ridiculous. Some guys getting crazy and kooky and have funny and cool stuff. And some people are like, oh my God, it's a beautiful moment. You touched my soul. You helped my life out. And people and then they're on the phone calling their mom and the dad. Hey, guess what? But you see, that was what the whole point of what the crypto was supposed to be. To get rid of the nastiness of the money and the monetary of the people, of how they were doing that, and then us growing and becoming strong and safe together. Banking the unbanked, connecting the disconnected. So if anybody feels down about anything, you could always just go to one of our pages and see these guys getting free donations, and it can brighten your day. It's almost therapy just going to the site and watching it. But yeah, I don't know. It's pretty cool. But yeah, man.
Appreciate you, man. Good to see you back in the space too. Appreciate you. Stevie, what's
Zach,
up?
I'm back.
Oh, okay. What do you got?
I remember it. Listen, Snack's my favorite. Snack, I don't know if you saw this, got added to Coinbase watch list. Now, I'm not saying you're going to get added to Coinbase.
Yep.
I'm not saying that. But I'm pretty sure that's one of the only Cardano native assets on a watch list on Coinbase currently. Interesting.
I like it. By the way, for those interested, I'm just getting word from some of my people on the back channels. Looks like my inner circle, new thing I'm launching. It looks like we're going to be launching it here very, very soon. So if you're not yet in the Crypto Breakfast Club, I'm going to drop a link in there probably right after the space. I just got to make one more phone call after the space. But yeah, we're getting ready to launch that. So everything's working and firing. So tons of great stuff coming with that, guys. Can't wait to freaking get this out there, man. Got like a team of like 8 or 9 people right now on the back channels. You're going to get full portfolio access, see what I've got. You're going to know when I'm making moves, buying sells. Obviously, that's not financial advice. You could just kind of glean from what I'm doing. We're going to have a bunch of AI crypto generated picks. We got some really unique algorithms we're working with to find prime value crypto picks. And then obviously just the whole investing community on the back end too. So yeah, I'll give you the details on that in the Telegram. Make sure you guys are in the Crypto Breakfast Club Telegram after the space. Let's see. Who else is up here? Stevie, what's going on, man?
Just enjoying your spaces. I forgot my original topic of discussion, but just glad to be here and looking forward to the upcoming markets. That's about it.
Appreciate you, bro. Love it. Thanks for always being here too, man. One of the mainstays. I always see you in the space, so appreciate you.
Short, sweet, and to the point, you know? Well, Edo is a sleeping giant.
Exactly. See, I don't even have to say it these days.
See, I'm actually depressed and disappointed that you didn't say it. Matter of fact, drop down and come back up. This is
And just to let you know, Volt is a sleeping giant. All right. It always sounds like that.
Goes without saying, yeah.
Bitcoin's back up to 114.5, by the way, guys.
Is this the best way of shilling now? Steve just doesn't say anything, but then you say it for him. Well, let me get my coin ready then.
Village coin coming to you right now. Oh man.
Yo, Mutaska, one day we're gonna meet either at a convention or just privately somewhere, and I'm definitely hiring fucking drummers. When you walk down the thing, there's gonna be drummers that pop out, and they're just gonna start drumming like crazy. I hope it's at a restaurant or somewhere public so people can go like, "What the fuck is going on?"
Funny enough, I when I run into Charles in Rare Bloom, oh my gosh, he's always has these people, bodyguards. Like it's insane, guys. Like it's nuts. But when I attend some of these conferences, I don't know, like it's hard to find people because everybody uses like these random profile pictures. Like you can't tell who unless they tell you I'm this person, right? So crypto is fascinating, guys.
Paid looks just like his PFP, Mutasco.
You know what's funny? I actually there's so many times where I'm just gonna fully dox myself and I don't do it. But you know what? One of the reasons I don't do it is because I actually like the surprise of people not knowing what I look like and then walking up to me like, "Oh shit, you're paid?" I'm like, "Yeah, what's happening?" That happened to me with the marketing director of VeChain in Germany.
Once they hear your voice, they're like, "Wait a minute, I know that voice."
Yeah. That happened. The marketing director of VeChain. Shout out to him. He's awesome, Anthony. He did like a speech not a speech, but like a panel in Germany. I came up to him after the show. I was like, "Hey, by the way, I just wanted to introduce myself. We've been partnered with VeChain for a little bit now." And he's like, "Oh, what's your name?" I'm like, "I'm Paid." He's like, "Wait, you're the guy who was yelling on our space the other day?" I was like, "Yeah, that's me." He's like, "Oh!" And he fucking gave me a hug and started jumping in circles. So I actually like that experience more than you just knowing exactly what I look like and you're like, "Oh, hey, that's you." I'm like, "Yeah." It's not the same energy.
No, you can do whatever you want. That's why we all came here. Crypto. It's like you guys ever feel anybody in crypto? This is a question to the room. Like when you're doing something Web2 related and you're being asked to provide some specific personal information that you believe is not even relevant, yet you're providing that information to somebody and you're like, why do I need to give you all of that?
Yeah, like just recently when I went to the bank and I was making a purchase on a triplex, and they were like, "Why are you wiring this money?" I'm like, "Well, I mean, if you look at who it's going to, you could probably put 1 and 2 together here. It's a title company. Why are you asking me these questions?" And it was just like, well, You know, how did you get it? It was insane. It was actually insane. And I was just like, I don't need to tell you this. I don't need to answer this. Like, why am I talking to you about this? It is kind of crazy.
I mean, there is no reason. It's almost like everybody gets profiled into like, you know, I always like to say El Chapo because, you know, or Osama. You're Osama or El Chapo or whatever you are. You're literally profiled, regardless. And bear in mind, there are people who are not in that bucket, right? You know, you get into the private wealth clients, whatever. They get to walk on red carpet, and you know they get to sign off on anything, right? And it's fascinating, right? You guys remember when what's that family that led the pharmaceutical opioid thing? They realized the case was going against them, and overnight they wired like billions of dollars to a Swiss account, like overnight. I'm like, well, if some random average dude tries to wire $10,000, it would take them 5 days or even more just to get that money across. Here we are, a company that literally pushed drugs that literally is killing communities, goes through a lawsuit, finds out that they're gonna get wrecked, and then overnight, they're able to wire that money out of, like, yeah. So it's not a fair world. You can never believe that this is gonna be fair. Like, if you're hoping for that, good luck with that. You just have to figure out a way to, you know, that's why I love crypto. There's a lot of things about crypto that we don't talk about. And Web2 and the media, they probably would never appreciate it. But when you're in it and you understand, you know, like you guys were talking about Ledger, right? Think about this, right? If you move all of your money into Bitcoin, think about how flexible, how easy you can move around with your family. There are stories about Chinese rich people that literally they have to send their families abroad, figure out ways to buy property, do all kinds of stuff. You go to Argentina, you go to Russia, capital control regions. There's a lot of problems that people have that they don't even have a solution to it. And the world is still not realizing how the use case for digital assets is what we don't even talk about. This is why I continue to love this space, because of just that freedom to control your money, and not tell anybody. I mean, look at the OGs that we know in these spaces. They've moved out, literally moved out, and they're living a fabulous, fabulous life. Yeah, go ahead, Steve.
I wanted to mention about getting money out of a bank. I bought an old classic car a few years ago and couldn't even get 15 grand out of my account. It took 3 hours because my signature didn't match what they had on their database from like 20 years prior. And it was kind of hilarious.
You know, I think it was funny. So here we want to change the financial system of, like, at least the U.S. and the world and everything, right? And here's a good indicator that we're in the right direction. So how we thought it was bad as just like living. Okay, so like even people in the United States think it's bad because of inflation and rich are getting richer, poor are getting poorer, and blah, blah, blah. And that sucks, but we're making a movement. We're doing crypto. People are kind of scared about it at first, understood, because old people are going to be, afraid of new things, and they usually run most of it because they've been around longer, right? So now we're making that change. But now look at who's getting nervous. Even Putin is getting pissed. Is like he made a public cry for help, basically on stage, because his system is also kind of based on making the rich getting richer and poor getting poorer. Where in Russia, like the top 5% or the top 2% own like everything, right? And those guys got it way worse than we. And the community or the citizens there got it way worse than us, right? Like sometimes we got indoor plumbing, they got outside poopers, you know, living like seriously third world country, like millions and millions, and he's getting nervous. See, now it's getting to the oligarchs are getting like nervous that they're not going to be able to like drain the system and suck the money out, that's what the whole war is about. And now they're getting nervous. While there's war going on, they decide to cry about the financial system because of crypto. That says enough. We are moving in the right direction at a very rapid pace right now. And it's just a great day. It's a great year and a great time to be a part of crypto, you know, to be a part of this new movement. I just see these things going in a good direction. When you get the bad guys who are complaining about it, because that means that we're actually the richest, worst bad guys on earth are complaining about we're going to be turning the water faucet off in their end of the on their side of the on their end of the world, because we figured out that they've been just like sucking all the liquidity and all the money out of the world, and everybody's hurting because of it. Which is at that moment when he was talking about it was more important the war that he's getting annihilated in. And he went to a public speak as an outcry to stop it. Psst. We are crushing it. We are doing great.
I will encourage everybody, like what you just said. If you haven't watched this, you go watch it. It's a story behind USDT. The reason why I referenced in it is it talks to the title. I think it's on YouTube. It's free. You can kind of literally pull it up and listen to it. It's less than an hour. It's called Stability and Freedom in Chaos. Stability and Freedom in Chaos, the story of Tether. And I think earlier on we were talking about stable coins and, you know, its significance and all that. The funny thing is I'm from a developing country, specifically Ghana. So the understanding of what a stable coin does, the way that I can appreciate it is different from somebody who doesn't have to think about their dollar in a bank account in a developed country. You know, that documentary, you know, they portrayed a lot of things in Argentina, Brazil, and just the entire Latin American, you know, region. And the people that actually were telling their stories, right, were people like the barber shop, the petty trader on the street, or, you know, the small business owner, or what, like those are the people, like literally these people, they don't have PhDs or whatever, right? They're just living just to take care of their families. And they're not even, they don't know what crypto, they may not even appreciate what crypto is, but they're using something and they're getting value from it. And when you hear people like that tell their story from that angle, it'll strike that fire in you to appreciate the larger significance of this space, right? Remember, there's noise, there's signal, and the noise can kind of drown everybody. Like it's scams, yeah, you lose your seed phrase, then it takes away the beauty of the technology itself and the type of people that this technology is impacting outside of the glass buildings that some of these people live in, right? You live in America, or maybe you live in some developed country. Some of them are actually collapsing right now, right? I mean, you live in the UK, you know what's going on there. In the US, like, what's that independent guy that won the US independent election ever? I think his name is Ross Perot, whatever, in the 80s. For the people that have the history books to remember, if you remember when the debt clock was put on, I think Times Square, right? Fast forward all of these times to where we're at today, we're literally talking about the US debt at $30-something trillion. And somebody wants to convince you that they have some magic pen that's going to fix all these problems. And unfortunately, a group of people believe it. They actually literally believe it. And it's literally fascinating because this morning I was in a space. Usually I have like 3 spaces I go into, like early morning and then, whatever before this one. And the finance space, they were talking about some bankruptcy in the auto loan sector, right? And guys, just to give you an idea quickly, the entire, you guys hear the bond market and all that crap. You have T-bills, T-notes, and you have treasury bonds, right? If you draw like a straight line and you cross it, you see the yield, you see the duration. And there's the short, they call it the short duration treasury bills, right? This is like literally like the high yield notes that you get, right? Like, I don't know, like money markets fall in that bucket, right? Anything that is less than 2 years, right? This short duration. Then you have the middle. In the middle, there's like car loans, that's like called the auto loans, and mortgages, right? The mortgages usually, you look at the range, and then you go from there to student loans and then corporate bonds, right? This is what Michael Saylor is also trying to disrupt, by the way, right? He literally sees an opportunity and he's trying to disrupt it, and people don't get it, right? So if you don't even understand what bonds are, this is literally what holds the entire economy. So I'm in a space and I'm hearing bankruptcy in a particular sector, and all of a sudden my mind flashes back to the table of the bond market, and I'm looking at the buckets of the debt where they're concentrated, right? The short, the mid, the long end of the curve. And I'm asking myself, what's going on here? If this is what holds the economy, and if there are cracks in it, how long does it take for people to realize the cracks, right? Because these different sectors are going to implode, right? Because if you think of mortgages, you can hear Trump talk about Fannie and Freddie Mac. You can see Bill Pulte going about talking about rate cuts. Rates have to come down. Why? You know why, right? Because I also talked about the FDI. I think it's a FHA modification waterfall, which is coming due on October 1st. I think it's the date. They need to figure this out, okay? Literally, they need to figure it out like yesterday. So these are things that, so if you look at that entire bond market and you break it down, right? This is too complicated stuff, but I'm just oversimplifying it, right? There's a lot in there that I can talk to, but I'm just speaking high level. When I hear cracks in certain sectors, I visualize where I put it, right? Because then who's gonna save it? This is why we talk about liquidity. In fact, if you go into, you're in crypto right now, right? If you care about liquidity, go into CoinGlass and go under net liquidity and look at the chart, the net liquidity chart, right? We went from like minus to now like 1.8 or something like that. So what it tells me is that there's liquidity coming in, right? Now, when it starts to fall off, there's correlation. When it's red and it's dipped down, the market doesn't do well. So I'm monitoring all these things and I'm asking myself, what's going to happen in the next few months? I could be wrong, but I'd rather be wrong betting with information than just saying, you know what, I'm out without any basis. So this FOMC is going to be big deal. And you would see the market, okay, today's data point on CPI was the signal. Because yesterday I saw a letter. They're now going to investigate there's a watchdog at the BLS, the Bureau of Labor Statistics. I saw a letter from the Treasury, I believe, yesterday. I don't remember if it was the Treasury or somewhere, but they're going in with a group of people to audit the BLS. And they specifically drafted the letter in some way. So everybody comes in and they cook the books, right? This is literally the game these people play. So you can't sit there and expect somebody to fix the economy for you to live off of, right? You have to figure out alternative ways, and part of the alternative options is investing. And crypto is a new asset class. It's very early, right? So if you're in, you're gonna do well if you know where to put your money. The point I'm gonna make, and I'll close my point, is this. I don't know if it's Lynn Alden. I'll encourage you guys to go listen to that. She said nothing stops this train. It's on YouTube. It's free. You just go listen to that. It will run you through everything that I'm just talking about, right? The Fed has no control, right? Because they use interest rate to control the market. Yeah, we low interest rate or we jack it up because we can control how much money banks can create. At this point, they don't even have the power to control that. And I'm not the one saying this, by the way. I've read stuff, I've listened to stuff, and I just referenced somebody who I believe is probably the best in explaining these complex things to the base level for you to understand. Her name is Lynn Alden. If you look that video up, it sums up a lot of the things that we're talking about, right? If you look at the Fed, you can tell that they're just spinning, right? They're just spinning in your face while other people are literally extracting value underneath you. And this is the rich people, the people that have their monies in the bond market, the stock market, and all that area. And then everybody else that is working hard, doing real work, they can't even get by. And their integrity is draining because while they're doing real work, they're diminishing their own relevance in society. You think this is going to be ending well? No. So I just gave you two references, okay? Look up Nothing Stops This Train because she did a graphic presentation of this. She said, it's like your brakes, right? The brakes of your car. The Fed, if the pods are new, you can drive and apply the brakes anytime you want and it would work, right? At this point, she is saying that the pods are worn out, literally gone. So even if they pretend, yeah, we're going to use interest rates, we're going to delay it, or we're going to, speed it up, whatever they're trying to do is a joke, right? And I'm probably doing this too aggressive because there's a lot of nuances there. I think we need the Fed. But on the other hand, it's about time these politicians figure out a way to help the larger economy, right? And they're not doing that. And it's unfortunate because they're tapping into all these destructive things. We will probably not see the enemy when the enemy is within us. We're busy blaming each other to the extent that we can't even see if there's an enemy inside of us, right? So what I'm seeing is crypto is an opportunity. It's not the only opportunity, right? Because somebody says if you're early in Bitcoin, maybe at that point you didn't put a lot of your hard-earned money into it. You were just early. And now Bitcoin is at 100 and something thousand. That Bitcoin position represents probably 90% of your net worth. So if you're on a space spewing the idea that, oh no, put everything in Bitcoin, it makes sense as it sounds. But how much money are you going to expend to be able to have a reasonable position in Bitcoin? It's going to be hard. The only reason your portfolio is at 90 or 80% because of the size of it is because you were early. It's because the market went up. And so for sometimes some of these people would not tell you a lot of these things. But the fact is, one of the key secrets about this technology is being early. If you're early in something before everybody figures it out, at some point, whatever amount you have in it, that portfolio may represent 40, 60% of your net worth. And that's when you may want to maybe start to reallocate into other assets. Some people don't have that luxury. Some people do because all they need to do now is to preserve that capital. So it's not the same story for everybody. And not everybody is at the same level as some people claim to be. So diversify, don't put everything in one bucket, right? Bitcoin is a thing. You want to have Bitcoin no matter what. But remember where you're at financially, how you could manage to grow yourself into enough Bitcoin. Because it's all about how many X's can we get from Bitcoin right now? If you put 10,000, it does 2X. What's that? 20,000? Does that change your life materially? Maybe not. Would you find something that does 5X and not 10,000 could be 50,000? Maybe. What could that be? That involves work. You have to research. You have to take time to do due diligence. You have to do all kinds of stuff. So again, I'm excited for the market, but I also see the cracks. For all the information out there, there is a lot of cracks in the economy. But as politicians, they always find a way to distract you away from the core problems. Everything that we're seeing is economic. I came from a developing country, so I'm explaining this from experience. Economics, poverty, it doesn't matter if you're white, blue, green, red, whatever, right? It usually starts there. And if the politician is not looking to fix that, I don't know. I don't know what else. So, just my nonsense. I think Zach left the phone at the hotel. Call Zach.
No, I'm here. Paid had to jump. We have we had a meeting, so but I think we can keep it going. I think he's still hosting it on his end. I might have to just jump and get on this call real quick, but we can keep the space rolling a little bit, and you guys can, keep it going. Why not? So let me just do this. I will keep the live streams going too, and yeah, there we go. So I'll try to just be here to let people in if they want to speak, but yeah, keep the conversation going, guys. I see a hand up. Feel free to just jump in and keep the convo going.
Yeah, Zach, thanks for having me up. I just want to say I come across this space a couple weeks ago, and I find myself coming back every morning. Out of all the morning shows, dude, you've done such a great job with what you're building here. There's so many great speakers pop up with so many great takes, and I just love popping the earbud in my ear while I'm working and listening to all you great guys. I went and joined your Telegram channel. I looked through it, love what you're building there. And I'm not going to shill anything really. Just when you have time, go check out the pin post on my profile. It talks about a new monetization layer that you're able to use within Telegram to drive engagement to everything you're doing. And what it does is it actually monetizes the community. And like I said, I don't want to go through a big shield through it. I know you're busy. I know you got to get on a call. But maybe go check it out. You're a smart guy. You'll understand it. And if you're interested, hit me up in the DMs or something. We'll get together. I'm in the Telegram. We could even jump in a VC and show you how it works. But it's a cool monetization layer. There's an exchange attached to it. Got $15 million backing it on the exchange already. So you don't have to come out of pocket to reward your community. It's there to monetize the people and get them paid that engage with all your stuff. So I think with what you're building here, it can really help you out. It's a cool tool. So yeah, hit me up. We'll talk about it and show you how it works and move on from there. But just want to say, man, great space. I love what you're building. I try to pop in every morning because, dude, you got so many great speakers that pop up with so many great takes from so many different chains. So this is an awesome space. I think you guys got a lot of growth in your future.
No, so when you say monetization, what is can you give it a 1 minute, what are we monetizing? Is it more like engagement? Is it more like asset monetization? What specifically are you referring to, if you don't mind?
Yeah, so it's all based on activity. This exchange, there's no way to bring fiat into it. You can't bring crypto into it. You can't bring money into it. What it is you remember the not coin, the tapping game. What these developers have done is built a mini app and you pull this mini app into your Telegram, they launch what we call battles, and they go in and they just tap on this thing, and they earn a Web2 token. It's called MOB. So it's the only way it's generated or created is by that tapping. And as they're tapping, they're earning this Web2 currency that they can go in and convert to a Web3 currency called V-Bucks. So there's a cool conversion there from Web2 to Web3. They can use those V-Bucks, which is the currency on the exchange. So think of it like the Solana on the Solana chain or the ETH on the ETH chain. They're able to use that and go and get in pools that's on this exchange. They can buy Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, Avalanche, Cardano, pretty much all of your blue chip assets are already on this chain. And the investors put all that money because they know that people are the value, and they've been building this thing out for 2 years. They've watched people get out in the trenches and promote all these big KOLs and all that stuff, and they never get rewarded for it. So that's the community layer of it there. But what it does for the creator, like Zach in the Crypto Breakfast Club, is it drives a ton of engagement to their platforms, right? Which gets them monetized on like X. They're able to cross platform this thing, drive engagement to YouTube and stuff like that. So that's the monetization layer. It starts with the core community, monetizing and rewarding them, but it helps push the content creator. So it's like a double layer, it rewards both aspects there.
So is there any metric around, because you said rewarding there was a project which I really liked the model and concept. It was more like so you know how people, when you do tweet and post and people retweet and all that. I mean, when we come into these spaces, people are like, did you retweet the space? Did you do all that? And what they were trying to unlock there was they were asking questions about, if I retweet your post, what is it? Like, what weight does it carry? And so they brought in another element of like, if I'm retweeting you, I would write something that I find relevant. So they call it relevancy based, whatever, rewarding or whatever it's called. I don't remember. It's been a while. But you're rewarding action, and that action is why. So when you have multiplier effect on multiple actions, the platform benefits, it scales, but there's also something that comes with it. It's not coming just by just retweeting. Like, why do I retweet? Like, I like doing quote tweeting a lot because when I find a post, it triggers something that I have read or I know or I have, and I will add to it before I repost it. Now, if you find it and you read it, there's some context link in there. So when you say rewarding, like if let's say Crypto Breakfast Club is going to benefit from it, give me one example of how the community can tap into it from the reward and engagement standpoint. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I got you. So part of the reward is just going in and tapping, right? I explained that part. They go in and tap. While they're tapping and earning that mob, it's also building a vault for the channel. So the channel's able to then and go use that vault as the mob, the Web2 part of it accumulates in it to go set up what we call jobs. We call them mob jobs, but essentially it's just like a Raider bot, that you see in a lot of the meme tokens and all that stuff. But you go in and you set up the metrics you want as a creator. I want 25 retweets, I want 20 likes, and I want 25 comments. And you're able to do that with your space, right? Instead of coming in here and being like, all right, everybody go down to the bottom right corner, hit the purple pill, like and repost the space. When you create this space, you're able to go in and create that job, and set up those metrics on it. And what it's doing is it's using that vault that's been built up by the community while they're tapping and earning mob. And it just further incentivizes them, So when they go and they knock out that job, when it gets completed, that mob that was set up for that allocation gets rewarded to everybody that went and engaged with the job. Does that make sense?
Oh, that's beautiful. Whatever you're describing there reminds me of Robin Hood's payment for order flow. As because when you were talking about vault and the did you say vault or what did you mention there? Because when I'm clicking and tapping.
Yeah, it's just kind of a bank inside the channel that they're able to use to go further incentivize the community but they're driving that engagement to themselves, you know, because a lot of content creators are pushing for that monetization layer, like on X. And Cato did a good job with that for the larger content creators. But dude, they screwed so many people around the world, especially down in Africa, dude. It makes me sick how hard those guys grinded for 3 to 4 months, hoping that they were going to be part of the TGE, you know, the drop. And then they just got cut out of it. It's like, are you freaking kidding me? You know, so the beautiful thing with this is you're not doing that. You're not grinding for 3 or 4 months, hoping to get a piece of the pie. You're getting it instantly. As soon as you download the app and you start tapping, you're earning that Web 2 currency that you can convert and get on the exchange, you know, and get to some of these pools.
No, that's beautiful. I've come across several, like, I don't know if you noticed what Gemini is doing with XRP, but you know, you do Web2 activities and you earn XRP and you can swap it into something else. But the carrot is, you know, the Web2 activity. You do normal things, fill your gas, do whatever, and you earn something. And that can be a currency, and that's XRP or whatever. And there's another project with Stella. It's in Africa. I think it's called Easy Pay or whatever they're called. It's literally an app. You go in there and you do, I don't know, it's some activity based, and you earn. I mean, you're able to earn certain tokens or whatever. But that's really cool. That's cool.
I think activity based is going to be the new meta because they figured out, you know, and these devs have done a great job of getting around what the fake KOLs, and this is why I popped up in this space. I really didn't pop it up to chill it. I really wanted to talk to Zach and the Crypto Breakfast Club about it because they seem like genuine people and they're really trying to build something great, you know, and they're trying to build a great community under them. There's so many KOLs out there that have screwed this space up with bots and scripts and all this stuff. And they're going to hate this, dude. Anything that's activity-based like this, they're going to hate it because they're not going to be able to manipulate it, right? Like, all those bots and scripts aren't going to work. X is doing an amazing job with AI technology at fighting all this crap, you know? So I think all these activity-based platforms are really going to shine, you know, over the next year. And it's going to start rewarding the people that are up here doing the real work, you know, and that's the people that are down in the space listening right now, the people that actually go and like and retweet the space, the people that are actually driving the content out there, you know. It's time to get rewarded, you know, and I'm proud to be part of this project. We've had a lot of success testing it, you know, and I think it's going to do great, as well as a lot of the others that are coming, you know.
We know it works. Earlier on, before you probably jumped on, I was talking about how banks operate today. Their compensation is tied to something. So it pushes the CEO to literally these incentive activity based. And this is how blockchain brought this. I don't know if you know the concept of what they call the decentralized physical infrastructure networks, DPINs, because mostly that's what these people do, right? It's you do real world activity, and then it rewards you, like, you know, is it what's the name of the cell phone company? I forgot their name, but there's another one trying to copy Google called HiveMapper. The reason I'm referencing DeepIn is because of what you said about activity based, right? Like, what are you doing that you can connect to, you know, this technology that we all appreciate, and maybe that yields something of value. And I think that's what the DeepIn sector is trying to do. The whole flywheel is you start from point A, you end point B, but you capture value, and the flywheel continues, and it becomes you know, kind of a self-revolving system. That's literally, this works. I don't understand why we saw, I mean, look at all the celebrity coins, right? You have one person just owns a chunk of it, and then we think it's gonna do well because, yeah, a few people own a chunk of the token, and somehow magically everybody is a fool, and I'm gonna buy your bag. What actually works is what we saw happen with Bitcoin, right? You know, Satoshi could have gotten all the Bitcoins. Like, yeah, I'm gonna mine like 90 million, and I'll let the rest let the rest flow. I would think that Bitcoin would not have been successful. So that is like a signal that when you're building something like this and you're saying we're a community, in fact, rewarding the community first is how you survive. I don't care who the community member is, where they're located. As long as you think of the community first, your business model has a staying power. And most people don't get that. A lot of these influencers, like, yeah, you're in that private Telegram group. And so you got in first. Yes. Now you have a space and there's, boosted with like 10,000 bots listening. And you don't want to fool everybody that this is the next meta, right? I don't know how they think. Yeah, I mean, they're going to get some people, some new people that don't get it, right? But is it sustainable? Maybe not. So I'd love to learn more about it when you come out next time and you can share more and we can learn.
Yeah. I'll let Zach reach out if he goes back and listens to it. He's probably on the call, or you can say, hey, go hit this dude up. But yeah, I'm willing to talk to anybody because it is an awesome platform. There's no KYC. All you need is a Telegram and an X account. You do connect your X account. That's how it scrapes the data, to make sure you do the job metrics and all that stuff. And you don't have to connect any wallets to it, unless you choose to exit the platform, after you're in there trading. Like I said, the V-Bucks is kind of like the Solana on the Solana exchange, so you're able to go in and trade, get in these pools. Like if you want to go get the Bitcoin pool, you go purchase the Bitcoin goes up, you're able to sell that back for V-Bucks, and then you're able to take those V-Bucks and exit the platform. That's the only time that you would need to connect a wallet. Or you can just take those V-Bucks and invest in new pools that are popping up. So there's going to be other tokens and stuff that drop on the exchange, So it's really, really a cool platform. And they spent 2 years building this thing out. We spent the last year testing it, making sure everything was ready to go and phenomenal. So it's going to be a huge piece for the content creators,
No, it sounds like an interesting system you got going on there. The one thing I wanted to share though, guys, and I don't know if you guys are paying attention to the market, but there is some IPOs. I've been talking about this company for a while. It's called Figure. I've shared, if you go on my feed, you see it. I was always looking forward to this day where they go public. And there's two parts that I'm going to speak to here. Figure.com is like a Web 2 based company. They've kind of changed their names. They've done a lot of things. But one of the things that got me attracted to them and learning about them early on was their HELOC model. And the HELOC had to do with you have a Bitcoin. How do you leverage the Bitcoin to get money? Just like people have their homes, and when it grows up in value, they can leverage it through what they call the home equity line of credit. And they'll use it to either buy a second home or, do some fix up or stuff in their home. They did this, and the reason I liked them was because they actually were trying to use hey, if I have Bitcoin, can I leverage it? If I have Ethereum, can I leverage it? All I have to do is send the Ethereum and then get a loan to value ratio, about 50, 60% loan to ratio value. And I can, as long as I'm able to pay back that money, I get my Ethereum back or I get my Bitcoin back. These guys just went public, I think. Yeah, today. They went public today. I actually requested for the pre-IPO shares just so I could keep track of it on Robinhood. For anybody using Robinhood, they have what they call IPO access. I think it's cool. If you have the Robinhood app, you just do a search of IPO access. It'll pop up. If you go on there, you kind of see not just Figure. There's other companies as well. But I'm just focused on any company that literally is trying to build something around crypto. I would love you because I'm this is the future. And so, they're out there and they're going public, which is fascinating because there's another company that is a subsidiary of JP Morgan called NYDIG. They're also out there doing similar things. They're saying, hey, let's move on from hodling to leveraging the Bitcoin. This is funny because yesterday Michael Saylor was delivering this fabulous presentation on MSTR, and I'll post it here if anybody wants to go listen to it. But it's a good listen. One of the things he said about Bitcoin was that there is a lot of people holding Bitcoin today, and this is funny because a lot of people think of Bitcoin as like it's stable, as this, as that. But what they're not talking about is how many people own Bitcoin that don't want to sell it because of taxes, right? They have a significant amount of it, right? And some of them get forced to sell because obviously I have to take care of my family, I have to take care of my kids or whatever. So now I have to sell it. And then I hand it over to BlackRock or all these people that didn't believe in it. Now they just get to grab it from me, OTC, at a discount. Now, what Saylor was saying there, which made a lot of sense to me, is that at some point, that liquidity needs to free. It needs to be unchained so that Bitcoin will at least have some energy in it, right? There's this term used in Ethereum called the temperature of money, right? You have solid, liquid, and gas, these three elements. This applied to Ethereum, by the way, right? So sometimes people don't understand why, Ethereum is going down. Yeah, it's going up. Well, because functionally, Ethereum has three properties, right? It's a solid, it's a liquid, it's a gas, right? So a single token or a single coin has multiple utilities. You can hold Ethereum, which is now, if you go on ultrasound.money, you see the solid one is growing at 35 million Ethereum, sitting in staked pools, okay? And you have DeFi, right? The liquid part, which people can, go to Aave and Compound and MoonPay or Moonwall is what it's called. You do Morpho, credit lending, all that stuff. That's moving the Ethereum around. So you're not going to see like steady, like it's going to move up, grind up big. That doesn't mean that Ethereum is bad. You're just missing the elements of Ethereum that makes it do what it's doing. This same concept has been researched extensively by professors, by the way. They're trying to understand the mechanics of these tokens, right? Is it a capital asset? Is it a commodity asset? Is it a productive asset? What is it doing, right? So Ethereum kind of falls in that bucket. But to my point earlier about what, it's a really beautiful listen if you're somebody kind of glued into like the structured capital market products. You're gonna love it. I did repost it, by the way. So if you want to watch it, go on my feed. You see it from yesterday. I think Saylor did a fabulous presentation. Right. I'm invested in his ecosystem. I have a few products in his ecosystem. Right. That I love because I understood it from the angle of, it's volatility. So the products are like literally leveraging Bitcoin's volatility. And he likes to say Wall Street actually avoids volatility. So they try as much as they can to prevent it. But he's creating that ecosystem so that there will be structured products around volatility where they can harvest it so you can make money on the spreads. But again, guys, there's a lot of opportunities. And like I said, if you're in crypto, at some point, you're going to try to transition away from the degen world. If you've made some money, you want to, spread that money on other, more stable products in Web 2. And I think Robinhood is leading that way. Coinbase is doing a lot of things too on the other end. And again, you can invest in Coinbase, you can invest in Robinhood. But I love Robinhood because of just, forget about all the eat the rich and, dumb money and all the AMC saga and, GameStop whatever, put that all aside. Think of the company as it is today and what they're trying to build. I'm a retailer and I like to have control of my stuff. And the things that they're adding to the portfolio of products that they already have tells me that this company is going to grow. Okay, I hold Robinhood shares, full disclosure. It has done well. I didn't think, even though I could see the direction, there was a lot of fat on it, right? The SEC meetings, the crap that the CEO had to go through with Gary Gensler. They got like Wells notices, all that crap just to press the price. So it's like I was asking myself, is the market wrong? Or is it that Robinhood itself is a bad company, right? But I held on to it. Like, I was very resilient. I just like, you know what, this is horrible. And sometimes when you're down on your asset, it's hard to even sell. So luckily enough, it recovered, which is great. But I think they have a great future ahead of them, just based on what they're doing right now, right? And bear in mind what I just said about IPO access. Remember, there's what they call the flipping rule, right? They have like some 30 days crap there, which I don't think is right. But, if you do get it, they have some restrictions on when you can sell, which also applies to the entire IPO market in general. When you buy an IPO, remember there's a 160 or 180 days lockup period where you can't sell. So when this stock is pumping, just know that at some point it's going to correct big deal down. Okay, that's just something that's going to happen. Like Circle, for example, if you watch it, I've said this before, from the day of the IPO, start counting 180 days, right? And you watch the price of the stock. On top of that, somebody did some really beautiful analysis on if rates go down to 3, what will Circle's price be? Right? This is also a shortened opportunity, because if you believe that Trump is going to get his way and lower rates down, then that's where you want to bet, right? You want to either short it or you want to wait until all of that, makes its way into the stock. Then you can buy it at a discount. I also talked about Open Door. The reason why I'm referencing Open Door is because I've done the research around it, all of the stuff that I think is going to help it, right? Open Door is literally like a Carvana of real estate, right? And when I drive around in my state, I see signs of homes with Open Door on it, right? It's starting to creep up, and I'm wondering why is that? But I've also listened to some of the top holders of the asset, right? It's literally like a meme stock, but it's getting some energy now. And I know why it is, because they're in the housing market and Trump is trying to do some shakeup on it, right? He's talked about emergency. Why do you think, the housing market is on the topic? Because rates are too high. People don't want to sell. I mean, I got my mortgage under, just the low 3s, which is, you have to use an excavator to get me to sell my house. Not going to do it. Okay, I'm sitting on some really good equity on the house, but I'm not gonna sell it. I don't care, because I've locked in a low rate. This is literally how many people are not selling into the market. So there's less, and nobody's moving. They need to free that market, and the way they do that is to figure out a way to make interest rates lower. Now, if that happens and demand go up, Open Door will benefit from it. Okay, and that's why I bought a little bit of it. I'm looking to see if I could buy more, but the narrative all plays to their favor, right? It's like they will ride that wave when rates finally go